That's all, your strength is not that impressive, Kate Cohen said straightforwardly, though her words might sound mean. But she revealed her opinion without hiding it in her heart. Hearing that, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. I don't know how to react to this woman. I feel she will slap me if she finds something rude. So I kept my expression calm and stood silently. Kate Cohen shook her head before looking at John Myers. What are you doing? Don't you have a fire crystal to restore your mana? She asked out of curiosity. On the other hand, John Myers opened his eyes and stood up from the ground. I'm good. At least, my mana reserve is enough to reach the academy, he said. Then he suddenly realized something and added further, the capital is only a few miles away. There is no need to waste any more time. Kate Cohen gave a cold snort. Then she takes out her flying artifact for the journey. This time the flying artifact is similar to the boat except it has some special functions. Alright, we can leave now, saying that she started to operate the flying artifact. At the same time, I glanced at Elder John before boarding the flying artifact. Elder John and the women entered one by one. Swish! The flying artifact rose from the ground and began to move toward the capital at breakneck speed. Unlike the previous one, this time the flying artifact has stealth mode. As it passes through the cloud, the stealth mode is finally activated. This operation widened my eyes in disbelief. When I was lost in my thoughts, I heard a voice from behind. Sigh, Kate Cohen let out a small sigh before saying, now, no one can trace our tracks. After saying that, she set the artifact in automatic mode. It can now move towards the destinations without having to use any manual operation. Behind her, Elder John stood silently. Ever since the women appeared, he seems to be nervous. I looked at him hoping to see whether he would like to make some introduction about her. The flying artifact is like the previous one. Has a spacious cabin with small rooms and hall inside. Everyone entered inside and sat on their seats to discuss. The woman seems more talkative than Elder John. I'm looking forward to hearing more details from her. But before that, the appearance of the Dark League member unsettled my heart. From their actions so far, I believe they won't rest until I die. I furrowed my eyebrows in tension. John Myers noticed the expression of Vincent. He drank a glass of water before asking about his worries. Kate Cohen started to do something in her communication watch. She is not interested in their conversation. Feeling the gaze of Elder John, I sighed inwardly. I don't know whether it's appropriate to ask in front of this woman. He glanced at her. She seems to be working on something. Then I made up my mind to ask anyway. Elder, what is going to happen next? How come the Dark League member was at the capital? I asked out in a low tone. I know the water at the capital is deep. But still, the random appearance of a level 6 wizard made me raise my guard. John Myers raised his eyebrows. He was too surprised by the appearance of the insect old man. Has anyone revealed their whereabouts? He again fell into contemplation. Earlier he thought about this issue, but due to battle, he had put aside this matter. But right after hearing Vincent's words, he began to collect his thoughts. Kate Cohen's lips curved into an arc. She may be working, but her senses were opened. She also felt the appearance of a level 6 wizard felt weird. Suddenly, she closed the communication watch and looked at both of them. Then her gaze set on John Myers, who is sitting opposite her. Have you spoken to anyone about your visit? She asked while keeping her arms cross-armed. Usually, it's not easy to tail level 5 wizards in her opinion. Especially the wizard like John Myers, it's even more impossible. Because he had done numerous secret missions previously. So John has a vast sum of experience in this field. At the same time, John Myers' eyes lit up with surprise. He had never expected her to speak at this moment. Maybe she has some better intel in her hands. I went to the Red City secretly. So technically no one should know about my whereabouts, he uttered with utmost confidence. Even confronting Brent Dale's guardian, he was never exposed. Maybe there is some lingering group existing at the capital. Kate Cohen knitted her eyebrows. Well, this kid shouldn't go outside of the academy for some time, she said in a solemn tone. Having a level 6 wizard on your back, it's not a joke. Even her beautiful little apprentice has faced some assassination attempts. But her apprentice has never faced level 5 or above. So when it comes to Kid Vincent, she is speechless. She has to admit, in this one particular thing her apprentice was left behind. She doesn't know what the students will think. If this matter got exposed, then she noticed the outside environment. The flying artifact is moving toward the destination without any hurdles. John Myers felt Kate's words had some truth. This incident has exposed some flaws on their side. Until they figure it out, Vincent should act in a low-key manner. On the other hand, I didn't ask any more questions. One thing I understand is that these two won't answer anything considering my age. So I decided to rest inside one of the rooms until we reach our destination. Dragon City capital? Inside the Royal House restaurant. Is it a success? What happened? Two green silhouettes discussing in a low tone. They are intersect members of the Dark League. And both are level 5 wizard powerhouses. Though they are having their lunch inside a private chamber. But still, two of them cast an isolation barrier before speaking in a low tone. One of the wizards' faces was scarred. And another one has a scholarly face. Both of them are dressed in normal green wizard robes issued by the Adventure Union. But nobody knows both of them have a hidden identity. As intersect members of the Dark League, both of them have some responsibility to fulfill. Like passing some important intelligence back to the organization and carrying out a few secret killings tasks. Right now both of them have been waiting for the Elder's call. Some time ago, the headquarters asked them to verify some information. Elder Insect has gone to kill the new talented seed of the Yellow River Academy. It's been some hours, but so far they have yet to receive any news from him. The scarred-faced wizard opened his mouth to ask, perhaps people from the academy are hiding somewhere. It's not easy to escape from our level 6 wizard, he said with a wide grin on his face. A frown appeared on the scholarly wizard's face. He knows the power of that insect old man. And he also knows that the elder has a fiery temper. He doesn't put anyone in his eyes. He may purposely avoid sending the confirmation back. The more he thinks about it, the more it seems plausible. Why don't we contact our elders? The scholarly face wizard suggested his opinion. He feels it's better to hand over this headache to elders back in the organization. They both got dual identity anyway. No one can hold them responsible for the mission. The scarred-faced wizard felt it was good to contact the elder. But he also thought it's better to wait for a while. The insect old man is not an ordinary wizard. He might seek some revenge later. Both of them knew how cruel the Dark League's wizards were. Finally, he said, let's wait for a while. Still, if there is no response, we can contact our elder. Then both of them continued to enjoy their food. But nobody would have thought a dignified level 6 wizard is currently held as a prisoner inside the imprisoned artifact. 1 hour later, both lost their patience. Especially when the scholarly wizard feels something bad. Without asking for the scarred-faced wizard's opinion, he sent a message to his elder. The scarred-faced wizard's expression turned dark. He knows that the person in front of him is not a fan of the insect old man. But he doesn't know what happened at the other end. What about the talented seed? I can easily kill that school brat. But this damn old man is making it difficult for us to survive. After sending the message, he grumbled. Each high-level mission comes with rich rewards. An especially important mission like this will have good significant rewards in return. But he was displeased by his organization's move. For a level 6 wizard, it's a piece of cake to kill lower-level wizards. And he will get an expensive reward in return. His heart was filled with jealousy and some resentment. Both of them are risking their lives to complete a high-risk mission. But someone out there is doing simple tasks despite being a level 6 powerhouse. The scarred-faced wizard revealed a bitter smile on his face. A few hours later, the flying artifact entered the region of Dragon City. And now it is moving towards the southern region. Where one of the famous academies is located is called the Yellow River Academy. We reached our destination. Call your student to come. Kate Cohen said it casually. My student. John Myers was dumbfounded. He waved his hand and replied, I'm not ready for such responsibilities. Hearing that, Kate Cohen's rolled her eyes at him. Creak. I exited the door and met Elder John and Elder Kate. Elder John introduced her to me earlier. So I'm more awed that she seems more powerful than Elder John. The image of the triangular artifact comes to mind. She can fight level 6 wizards using the artifact. I wonder what her true extent of power is. Suddenly, she turned her head and stared at me. When our gazes met, my back went cold for a moment. Scary. I hurriedly averted my gaze and walked outside of the cabin. Then I see the change in the environment. The sky is covered with a powerful white mist which blocks my consciousness. Seeing the astonished face of Vincent, Kate Cohen's chuckled and said, a kid, we already entered the capital. Those mists were natural formations. So don't spread your mental power casually. Hearing the voice from behind, my heart skips a beat. Natural formation? Capital? A look of astonishment appeared on my face. I thought we reached the academy. So it's nothing but an area of the capital city. It took me a couple of seconds to digest the face. Top? When I was lost in thoughts, I heard walking footsteps. Elder John and Elder Kate exited the cabin and came to the deck. John Myers suddenly thought of something and said, Vincent, the mentor will pick students based on the performance of the special program class. Then without waiting for Vincent to reach, he further added, if you want the advanced wizard to be your teacher, then you have to perform well and attract their attention. A hint of glint flashed in John Myers' eyes. During the journey, he thought about it a lot. Vincent is now targeted by the Dark League, and that evil organization is even willing to send a level 6 wizard. In the future, it will only get worse. So he realized it will be better for Vincent to have a level 6 wizard or above as a mentor. Then there will be an extra layer of protection besides the academy. Kate Cohen saw through John's thoughts. She didn't make any comments. Vincent appeared to be good with a calm temperament. Further qualities can be only accessed after his performance inside the special program. Feeling the gaze of John Myers, I nodded in reply. Too many things have happened recently. I too feel it's better to have some kind of backing apart from the academy. The water inside the capital is too deep. Then what about the academy? I bet it will be a similar case. But I'm looking forward to it. I have to meet my next sponsor. Fatty Lucas was generous. I don't know whether I can meet a next fat pig here. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 1 hour later. Finally we are home, a John Myers uttered with a long sigh. In the distance, I saw sky-high towers touching the sky. It looked breathtaking. I'm an ant compared to its magnificent size. And this is the same case with the flying artifact. It looked miniature. For a moment, I forgot about the external surroundings. I'm finally reaching the wider world. This thought alone raised huge expectations in me. Soon we reached, even closer to the academy. Then I finally saw what it looked like. It is a giant castle, and the huge tower is nothing but the watchtower of the academy on 4 sides. This? How many wizards are studying here? I blurted out in surprise. My voice was not loud. It reached the elders' ears. There are thousands of wizards. Depending on level ranks, it might vary in numbers. But low-level wizards occupy huge numbers. As the level rank increases, the number will gradually reduce, Kate Cohen said in a calm tone. Thousands? A look of understanding dawned upon me. There are more wizards in level 2 compared to level 3. It's not easy to break through. I sighed inwardly. Looks like it is not easy to stand out. Finally, the flying artifact lands on the platform outside the administration office. Elder Kate and John exited one by one. Seeing that, I followed outside. In curiosity, I raised my head to look at the sky. Even for wizards, the peak of the watchtower is not easy to see. Kate Cohen's talked to John Myers before parting ways. All right, kid. I'm looking forward to your performance, saying that, she disappeared from the spot. This all happened in a blink of an eye. Then Elder John led me toward the administration office for my registration. The registration process went smoothly. There is no interrogation or screening at all. I guess it's because of Elder John. Then the staff gave me a red magic robe, school site information, and some kits. I stored them inside my storage bracelet. John Myers' expression eases down. Most of the work is complete. Now he can take Vincent to the dormitory before parting ways. Vincent, the special program will start in a few days. Until then you can take some rest, John Myers said. Hearing that, I felt grateful to Elder John. He doesn't have to be deeply involved in my issue. But still he cared. I know he is betting on my potential. So I shouldn't let him down in the future. On the other hand, John Myers saw the complicated expression of Vincent. He immediately thought about Vincent's patents. His expression turned solemn. He said in a serious tone, "Don't worry about your parents. I will keep an eye on them." Hearing that, I retracted my thoughts and replied, "Thank you, Elder John." John Myers waved his hand gently. By that time we had already reached the dormitory building. There is also a small administration office in front of the building. The male staff registered my name and gave me an access code for the room. The registration procedure is completed. So I'm leaving now. If you face any troubles, you can text me in the future. After saying that, John Myers left immediately. Right after, a wave of emotion washed over me. A new area, new people, new academy. It will take some time to calm my mood. Then I went towards my room. The rooms inside the dorm were single rooms. So there is no problem with privacy. Soon I arrived in front of my room. Room No. 206. Creak. The room opened when I entered the access code. I walked inside and looked around before closing the door. It's a nice room. A single king-size bed on the right side, with a table and chair nearby. A beautiful window in front. There is a bathroom and toilet on the left side. There are also wooden cupboards for placing items. Then my gaze fell on an antique lamp near the bed. This whole room gives me a vintage vibe. It's not as modern as it appeared to be. Is it because of the old heritage they are keeping this way? A thought appeared in my mind. Then shaking my head, I lay down on my bed in exhaustion. Time passed in a blink of an eye. I woke up a few hours later. Then immediately went to take a long bath. Only after changing into comfortable clothes, I felt relaxed. It's time to tell Mom and Dad about the journey, I mumbled under my breath. Then I typed a text message to them regarding my journey. After sending the message, I picked the rule book from my storage bracelet. A strange glint flashed in my eyes. In this magnificent academy, I wonder what terrible rules are in place. Opening the book, I started to read slowly. After 1 hour, I let out a huge sigh. This is not only a rule book but a complete introduction to the academy. There are the outer house, inner house, core house, true house, elder house, council house, vice dean and finally dean of the academy. The hierarchy is a bit straightforward. The houses are further divided into halls based on different magic powers. This category is a bit similar to the weapon palace, but they are divided based on weapon users. Here, I believe every weapon user comes under the weapon hall. My eyes gleamed with twinkle. To reach a higher house one must rise through ranks. 1. Outer house, level 1 and level 2 wizard. 2. Inner house, level 3 and level 4 wizard. 3. Core house, level 5 wizard. 4. True house, level 6 wizard. 5. Elder house, level 7 wizard. 6. Council house, level 8 wizard. 7. Vice, Dean, level 9 wizard. 8. Dean, level 10 supreme wizard. My hand trembled a little when I recalled further information. The dean of the academy is the supreme wizard. My goodness! How old is he? I gulped saliva in disbelief. The Yellow River Academy is more powerful than I thought. I can say it's one of the top powerhouses in the whole world. The Yellow River Academy? Dormitory? The structure of the organization is really big. To think the level 5 wizard is not even the upper part of the academy. The real powerhouses are wizards above level 6 rank. No wonder, Elder John mentioned it previously. From where I came from, level 5 wizards are considered giants. And here in the academy, they are just considered to be the core of the academy. It took me a couple of seconds to digest the fact. It looks like it's not that easy to rise through the ranks. To get reliable backing, I must perform well in the special program class. Only in that way can I get attention from the bigwigs. Then retracting thoughts, I started to go through other stuff. After a couple of minutes, I reached a critical juncture. There is a hall called Subtaboo Hall inside the academy. After my registration, they assigned me to this hall. I mumbled under my breath. What's more shocking is that there is no class and teachers exist like in schools. Once I break through, I will join the inner house. There will be no problematic thing called vacancy. My lips curved into a gentle arc, realizing that. So inside the Subtaboo Hall, I will find wizards from a different house. The wizards from the True House and Elder House are also part of Hall. A huge expectation rose in my heart. I'm finally going to meet fellow Subtaboo wizards. But the next second, a huge realization dawned upon me. I opened my communication watch and logged into my school account. Then I started to access the school site. Finally, I opened the page where I saw a list of the different halls inside the academy. There are 12 different halls inside the academy. Namely, 1. Taboo Hall. 2. Subtaboo Hall. 3. Weapon Hall. 4. Power Hall. 5. Elementals Hall. 6. Unique Hall. 7. Bloodline Hall. 8. Beast Hall. 9. Transformation Hall. 10. Mechanical Hall. 11. Medical Hall. 12. Research Hall. So many divisions, I muttered to myself. Seeing the different streams, I started to go through the introduction about each hall. 20 minutes later, I achieved some understanding of different streams. Then my gaze set on Subtaboo and Weapon Hall. Outside there is a specific academy for weapon wizards called Weapon Palace, but here the weapon wizards belong to Weapon Hall. But I'm sure about one thing, the weapon wizards must be insanely strong. Then my eyes scanned the name of each hall one by one. When I spotted Unique Hall, my eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Did the school chairman get his inspiration from the academy? There is a newly inaugurated unique class in school. I believe in the future more students will enroll in that class. And when it comes to Power Hall, there is no surprise in my eyes. People who belong to the Power Hall are physique wizards. They mainly focus on strengthening their body. Next, the Elementals Hall consists of elemental wizards. Namely, Fire Elemental Wizards, Water Elemental Wizards, Earth Elemental Wizards, wind elemental wizards, and metal elemental wizards. Some mutations exist in elemental powers, but I think they will be categorized into subtaboo and taboo wizards. Elemental wizards are said to have the complete method. A large number of mental methods and spells exist in that category compared to others. And the elemental wizards are considered to be the strongest since ancient times. Even today they have to compete for inheritance in our world. So in today's world, there is no organization without elemental wizards teaching. If you are an elemental wizard, you have more options. Then I glanced at the unique hall. I'm already familiar with unique wizard. For example, my school students from a unique class. One has glass body magic and the other one has blood and physique-related magic. I don't know what kind of unique wizards are here. Next, my gaze set on the most interesting magic, the bloodline power. The bloodline wizards are said to exist from ancient times similar to elemental wizards. Compared to other streams of magic, bloodline magic is said to be the easiest one to get started, but it will be difficult to get a breakthrough in the later period. That's all said in the introduction. If I need further knowledge, I have to go to the library. The next one is the Beast Hall. Beast wizards are said to have beast powers. The beast powers vary depending upon different beast types. Like bloodline wizards, they too have difficulty in getting breakthroughs at later periods. Then the Transformation Hall. Wizards who can modify their body parts according to their awakened magic are said to be transformation wizards. Transformation also consists of different types. Beast transformation, elemental transformation, mechanical hand, etc. The medical hall is the one I'm most familiar with. It's related to healing magic. But here medical hall has one extra division apart from healing called the poison division. A very rare number of people awaken poison magic each year. But those people were considered to be very dangerous because their poison magic can cause damage to wizards across ranks. And the research hall was said to have people who were gifted with some kind of analytical magic. It can be said to be tools or faster brain computing power. Finally, my gaze set on taboo hall. Earlier, I intentionally avoided looking at the taboo hall, because sub-taboo magic is considered to be more powerful than taboo magic. If there is one magic that can pose a threat to me, it is taboo magic. In history, space magic and time magic are called ultimate taboo magic. Next, there are quite some examples such as decay magic, which also comes under the taboo class. Surprisingly, I have to go to the sub-taboo hall to get another ID. Then I can gain access to see different rankings between the classes. I held up my chin in contemplation. Looks like I have a lot of work to do tomorrow, I grumbled. Apart from visiting the sub-taboo hall, I need to visit the library as well. I received 3 gravity spells initially. Now that I'm at level 2, I can learn 3 more spells. Then retracting thoughts, I began to go through other miscellaneous information, such as cafeteria where they provide free meals. Time passed in a blink of an eye. The following day, I woke up pretty early. After getting ready, I started my first routine of meditation here. Sitting cross-legged, I started to run the gravity arc method. The next moment, I felt an abundance of mana around me. The mana around here is many times more abundant than in my hometown. Very quickly, I started to absorb the gray color particles into my body. Then I began to circulate the gray mana particles according to the gravity arc method. After quick circulation, the particles gathered inside my sacred mana core. This time I felt the same feeling similar to my training inside the gravity mana chamber. If my assumption is true, then my attributes will be increased by 3 points. Then I calmed down my heart and continued to meditate. 3 hours later, I opened my eyes after completing morning practice. Then I immediately thought about viewing my status. System, show my status panel. Then I said to the system, ding, the host's command is recognized. Ding, level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel, host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level, level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 80%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 35%. Progressing. 5.5%/month. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 160. Speed, 161. Stamina, 165. Vitality, 164. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 18%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 3. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull. Slots filled 3. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. Seeing the wide status panel in front of me, I carefully go through each of my attributes. After confirming the increase in power, a wide smile appeared on my face. Ha ha, ha, I let out a joyful laugh. This area is simply paradise. The abundance of mana around here is similar to the mana chamber. If I continue this phase, then it will be a matter of days before I reach the level 3 rank. But this also makes me ponder about my talent. If my talent was higher, then I'll get even more improvement. Sigh, I sighed inwardly after realizing the super gap between me and other seeds in the academy. But I believe I'm different from other genius students. As long as I get a super relic, I can improve my talent. Apart from getting meteor rock, I should also prioritize getting super relic treasures. I heard the academy also has many relics in its treasury. I made up my mind to inquire about these things later. The Yellow River Academy. After completing the meditation routine, I got up from the ground and got ready to go outside. I wore the red magic robe on top of my shirt. There is a bronze color badge in a pyramid shape on the left side of my chest. If one can look closely, one will see small words below the pyramid symbol. It is written as Outer House. This will confirm my identity as an Outer House student. Creak. After closing the door, I walked outside. This time the staff working behind the desk is someone else. After taking one good look at him, I stride towards the cafeteria. There is a large common cafeteria for the Outer House students from all halls. It's not divided unlike in schools. The huge cafeteria is located inside the castle. When I walked inside, I'm once again bewildered by the amazing scene in front of me. I can see no endpoint inside the castle. It's like you are walking inside a huge space. Suddenly a look of realization dawned upon me. It's an absurd feeling, but I believe it's the truth. The academy has so many houses. I believe that inner house is also situated inside the academy as well. It's all a work of space magic. As this feeling rises in my heart starts to beat faster. A trace of apprehension appeared in my eyes. One thing is for sure, I can't be pompous like back in my school. At school, I managed to plunder and kill. Because there were no powerhouses back in school. At one point, joining the police force has given some knowledge about the government. The government won't dispatch level 5 wizards or above unless there is a serious case. But here there is no such rule. If my evil acts were caught by someone, then it will be over for me. Whether it's good or bad, I have to take each step carefully. Because here every wizard here has some background. There are no regular humans around here. Even the staff here are level 2 wizards. And people don't mind using some means to press someone else. After figuring it out clearly, I let out a huge sigh. By that time, I had already reached the cafeteria. Then only I noticed the number of people around here. For a moment, I stood motionless and started to observe. I saw people of different colors and shapes. Especially the people who have beastly powers. I see the difference. The one closest to me has a beast scale as skin. Seeing that, I felt goosebumps all over my body. Then I shrugged off and walked towards the food counter. My appearance didn't cause any waves. I slowly reached the counter and received the food plate. Food was already placed on the plate. The most eye-catching is the mana meat of the monster. After receiving the food plate, I choose a nearby spot to sit down. While eating the food, I'm also keeping an eye on the surroundings. The cafeteria is so huge that there are many spots to sit down and eat. Some of the people sitting in a group on one side, while some others gobble up their goods in a hurry. But apart from the beast wizard, it's hard to distinguish others. It's not easy to tell which hall they are from. Seeing that, I began to look for sub-taboo hall members. The academy badge is good, but it would be better if the academy had a separate badge for hall. When I was lost in my thoughts, I heard a bell-like laughter. Hearing that, I paused my movements and turned toward the source of the sound. A girl with white long hair wearing a red magic robe from the academy is walking toward the food counter. I only see back, but it's enough to understand that the girl must be one of the academy belles. Then shaking my head, I returned to my usual position and continued to eat food. It's not wise to waste time on unnecessary things. I should focus on my own goal. 15 minutes later, after having my breakfast, I walked towards the sub-taboo hall. I already got a map of the building from the staff. One good thing is the sub-taboo hall is located close to the academy library, which saves me further trouble. Inside the castle, there are many rooms. Each room leads to some other wide place. It might be a living hall or mission hall. Recalling the mission hall, a quick glint flashed into my eyes. This is one area I neglect to look into. After completing the other formalities, I must check the mission hall. That's one place to earn money. By the time, I arrived in front of the sub-taboo hall. But it's not what I had imagined in my mind. Beep! Visitor! Show your ID. Hearing the voice, my eyes lit up with surprise. I touched my communication watch. A digital holographic ID of mine appeared above the display. The next second, a blue color ray shot from the door and immediately scanned my ID. Creak! The next second, the door in front of me opened. Seeing that, I quickly walked into the room. Next second, I see a spacious living hall. It's not much worse than cafeteria. So huge? I was shocked to the core. Why does it feel like even my dormitory building is not that big? Suddenly I realized something. The sub-taboo hall is not exclusive to the outer house wizards. It belongs to everyone. Even sub-taboo wizards from Elder House can be found here. Top? After hearing the sound of footsteps, I retracted my thoughts. Hey, who are you, new guy? A mature voice reached my ears. Hearing that, I immediately turned towards my right side. A middle-aged woman with short black hair and eyes is scrutinizing me from up to down. Looking at her similar red robe. She must be a fellow sub-taboo wizard. Feeling her gaze, I coughed up. Coughed a cough. Imanokume. I came here to register my name, I said with a smile. The middle-aged woman's face immediately became radiant. Wow, we finally got a newcomer after several years, the middle-aged woman uttered in disbelief. Several years. A frown appeared on my face. Her words brought me some confusion. The middle-aged woman saw through the newcomer's thoughts. She introduced herself by saying, "Hi, myself, Carolina Slate. Level 4 Deadly Vine Wizard. A member of the Inner House. Plant life magic?" I blurted out in surprise. The name sounds a little bit exaggerated. Is it a title or is her magic deadly? The middle-aged woman Carolina wasn't surprised by the newcomer's reaction. Yeah, it's plant life magic, but it's different. I have awakened a variant type of plant magic, which is mutant vine magic. I can suck the vitality of others for my use, she said with a chuckle. My pupil constricts. Sucking up vitality for her use? Terrible. My heart set off storms. How can someone plunder endless vitality from others? What horrible magic. No wonder the magic is called a deadly vine. She can easily kill others. What's more interesting than she can fight across ranks? Because of such ability, her magic is classified as sub-taboo class. In my opinion, it can be rated as a taboo class. But I don't know what the criteria for taboo class is. For a moment, I was overwhelmed by thoughts. Carolina Slate is enjoying the reaction of the newcomer. It has been a long time since someone joined their sub-taboo hall. A very rare number of people awaken sub-taboo class every year. So she is glad that from now on there is a junior under her. Carolina blinked her big eyes after realizing something. She failed to ask about the newcomer. She asked, "What about you?" Her words brought me to reality. I looked at her and replied, "Senior, I'm Vincent Carey. Level 2 Gravity Wizard." Gravity magic. Carolina widened her eyes in disbelief. Because the gravity magic made her recall something. On the other hand, I'm surprised by her overreaction. If it was the outside world, I can understand the reaction. But here everyone has perverted magic power. And her mutated vine magic is not less than that of mine. So it doesn't make any sense. I asked, "Senior, what happened?" Carolina retracted her thoughts and looked at Vincent with a complicated expression. "Vincent, are you a gravity wizard?" She asked back again. Hearing that, I furrowed my eyebrows. Wait, don't take me wrong. There is a reason for it, Carolina hurriedly explained. My expression eases down after that. Carolina let out a small sigh before saying, "Vincent, you are one lucky brat." "Senior, what do you mean?" I asked. "You are a newcomer. So let me tell you something. A long time ago in our history, one of our council elders said to have gravity magic," she said while closely observing Vincent's reaction. The next moment, I felt a thunderclap ring in my ears. Council elder. Level 8 wizard? My throat went dry for a second. It took me a couple of seconds to digest the facts. No wonder the Academy has more than one gravity mental method. The Yellow River Academy? Council Elder Ao? I revealed a bitter smile on my face. Those are the existence far away from me. It's better not to think about them right now. After calming down my heart, I looked at the middle-aged woman Carolina. She is my senior now. It is better to address her like that. Ahem, senior. What about other houses? I asked out of curiosity. I bet other houses too have similar sub-taboo powerhouses. Carolina Slate rolled her eyes at him. She felt the newcomer was overenthusiastic. She decided to tell the harsh reality. She replied, Vincent, right. First of all, you should understand very few people awaken sub-taboo magic every year. Amongst them, 1 or 2 join our academy. The rest of them join some other organizations, she added further. Then without waiting for her junior to speak, she continued by saying, so our entire sub-taboo hall has a low number of wizards. Adding you, the outer house slot is filled now. Then our sub-taboo hall consists of members such as the outer house, 1, inner house, 4, core house, 2, true house, 3, elder house, 4, and council house, 1. After saying that, she observed her junior. On the other hand, I don't know how to react for a while. We got a total of 15 members in the whole academy. Why does it sound a lot less? But my eyes lit up recalling the council house has a sub-taboo wizard. So he might be a strong backing for us. When I revealed a bright smile on my face, I see the reaction on her face is not so good looking. Senior, I uttered. Carolina shook her head and stood cross-armed. All right, there are many things to tell you. But before that, let's register your name in our database. After saying that, she strode towards the front desk. There is no one behind the desk right now, because rarely people join the sub-taboo hall. So whatever work is available, it is usually done by members themselves. A frown appeared on my face. I see that she wanted to tell me something, but she chooses not to speak at this moment. I raised my eyebrows in confusion. Then I realized it is still the first day of the academy. There is no need to inquire about these things in a hurry. I can address some issues later. She led me toward the computer system. I registered my name and the process went smoothly. I don't know how the classes were conducted. Are there any books available on gravity magic? A lot of questions appeared in my mind. Senior sister, what about the classes? I asked. Carolina eased her eyebrows before replying, there are no day-to-day lectures here. Everything depends on self-study. You can get materials from the library to learn. And one more thing, to graduate you have to reach the level 5 rank. The academy has given a 10-year period for lower-level wizards. Failure of breakthrough after 10-year period leads to expulsion, she added. Hearing that, I solemnly nodded my head. 10 years time limit is too much for me. I can get a breakthrough every 2 years. If my talent was higher, then the time would be even shorter. Beep. Carolina received some urgent messages at this time, so she can't accompany her juniors anymore. All right, I have something to do right now, so let's exchange our contacts. If you need something, you can text me, Carolina said. I nodded my head and then we exchanged our contacts. The middle-aged woman didn't talk any further and hurriedly trotted away from the hall. When she was completely gone, I let out a long sigh. I need some place to sit down and think. When this thought rose in my heart, I glanced towards the sofa. Sitting down, I started to collect my thoughts. Sub-2 Hall entirely consists of 15 members including me. The numbers were a lot less considering the huge size of the academy. I bet this is the same situation with Taboo Hall as well. So if there is any dispute, it's not easy to overwhelm other halls with numbers. I started to feel a headache. Don't tell me I have to keep acting in a low-key manner again. Then retracting my thoughts, I started to access the academy site again. This time I can log into the Sub-Taboo Halls page. Soon I entered my access code and logged into the page. Seeing the information about Sub-Taboo wizards, I started to read it. The information here is a lot more than the introductory books. 20 minutes later, I got a basic understanding of things out here. There is severe competition between the halls. Recalling the information, I couldn't help but think about my senior sister's reaction. After realizing that, I revealed a bitter smile on my face. The competition is all about the hall rankings. There are 12 halls inside the academy to distribute the academy resources. The academy uses the ranking method. The top hall gets the maximum benefits while the bottom hall gets the minimum. The hall ranking is separate for each house, and they are determined by the maximum points obtained by wizards at the battle tower. The information about the battle tower is quite interesting. To provide fairness to every hall, the academy uses battle tower points to determine hall rankings. Seeing the hall ranking of the Sub-Taboo Hall's outer house, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. The Sub-Taboo Hall's current outer house ranking is 12, which is the bottom. Even those powerless research guys are ranked higher than me. Taboo Hall, Sub-Taboo Hall, and Unique Hall have fewer members. I think it's probably due to rarity. Before me, no one joined the outer house. So that's why the outer house ranking is last. My mind sprang up in action. Right now I must practice and reach level 3 rank as soon as possible. Then I can show my power as level 3 rank before everyone. Then I will enter the battle tower to improve the outer house ranking. A good plan comes to my mind. Right now the first position is occupied by the taboo hall, which is not a surprise to me. I know the horror of sub-taboo magic, and the taboo is 1 grade higher than mine. So it is normal for that person to achieve first place in the outer house ranking. Who is that person? A curiosity rose in my heart, because that person will become my rival eventually. When I access the information on the site, my eyes widen in disbelief. Hall ranking outer house. Number 1 Lara White, Taboo Hall. Level 3 Snowstorm Wizard. Special Program Student. Temp Mentor Kate Cohen's Level 5 Peak Illusion Wizard. Core House Member. F at CK, I blurted out in surprise. For a moment, I froze like a statue. C candidate? Don't tell me she is the same as me. Joined recently. What is going on? Then I also read the next line of the information. Kate Cohen's? Soon the image of women comes to mind. She is the one who rescued me from the Dark League. And the other party's words before parting comes to my mind. My gaze landed on the text. So she is her student. At that time, I was dissatisfied with her tone and attitude. But right now seeing the information firsthand, I believe there is truth to her claim. Lara White is really strong. But I'm not afraid. If it's a do-or-die situation, I can easily kill her using gravitational force, which is almost like a cheat to me besides my system of mine. I can use it to fight across ranks and kill wizards. But that option is my trump card. I will use that only in a desperate situation. But here for the hall ranking, I don't have to use such extreme methods. She is a level 3 rank and my expression turned serious for a moment. Snowstorm Taboo Magic? From the title alone, I understand the horror of the magic. It doesn't matter whether close range or open field. This magic can cause damage to everyone. A quick glint flashes in my eyes. Lara White? I can't wait to witness the power of gravity magic against the snowstorm magic. It will be exciting to see such a duel. When it comes to Elder Kate Cohen's, she is not an ordinary powerhouse either. Illusion magic? But at that time, I hadn't seen her using that magic. She simply used the imprisoned artifact to capture the Dark League wizard. She is also a temporary mentor for Lara White. Her magic is not at all similar to Lara White's magic. Illusion is a different category. I believe she is more like a guardian for Lara White. Then I held up my chin in contemplation. In a few days, I will meet Lara White at the special program class. Let's observe the other party then. Finally, I retracted my thoughts and closed the communication watch. There is no one here. I believe that it is normal for other members to come here once in a while, because the academy pushes the self-study method. So it's quite common for everyone to practice alone. After collecting my thoughts, I decided to leave. A few minutes later, I arrived at the library area. The library looked small with fewer collections of books. But my instinct tells me that something else is going on. I raised my eyebrows before walking up to the front desk. Fortunately, the library staff is working behind the desk, so I can seek his help. When I went forward, the female staff member raised his head to see me. Then I calmly said, "Hi, I'm Fresher. I came here to receive the study materials." The female staff nodded her head. Then she told me to access the room next to her. Hearing that, I quickly looked at the room, which looked like toll booth. For a moment, I became hesitant. Then out of curiosity, I walked up to the room and entered inside. When my gaze fell on the scanning system similar to the dorm door, a look of bewilderment appeared on my face. I accessed the communication watch to show my holographic ID. As I guessed, the holographic ID was approved right after its projection. The next second, the toll booth moved. I feel uneasy after realizing that. I knew the library section was not simple. The previous book collections were just shown. The real knowledge is hidden somewhere. I believe that students can access them after verification. When I was lost in thoughts, the toll booth finally came to stand still. But I realized this is not the same floor. Creak! I walked out of the toll booth and stepped inside the white space. The entire area looked like some hidden space. My heart starts to beat faster. What is happening? I came here without inquiring about the library from the senior sister. Now I'm standing blank here. Before I could think of anything further, the visitor name is verified. Sub-Taboo Hall, Vincent Carey, Level 2 Gravity Wizard, Outer House Member. Access. Tier 1. To get more access, input battle points. Books. Basics of mana particles, basics of elementals, basics of potion making. Basics of anatomy, introduction to mental powers and importance of mana core by H.W. Fleury. Special book, An Introduction to Gravity Power by Mitchell Park. Spells Tier 1. Gravity Shield, Gravity Push, Gravity Pull, Gravity Field. Spells Tier 2. Gravity Field, Gravity Push, Gravity Pull, Gravity Blast. Spells Tier 3. Not accessible. Spells Tier 4. Not accessible. A panel appeared in front of me. Seeing that, I got dazed a little bit. This operation feels similar to when I first chose my mental method. At that time I wore a helmet to receive gravity inheritance. But here the panel appeared out of thin air. Then I slowly calmed down my heart. There is no time limit here. I can wait and observe the name of each book. Looking at the Tier 1 accessibility, I wasn't surprised. Because there is no free lunch in this world. I need battle points to access more information in the library. My lips curved into an arc. No wonder wizards are crazy to get battle points. Next, my gaze fell on the information in the books. Looking at the row of books, I feel satisfied. I believe these basic books were slightly more advanced than the school curriculum. So I can read it to strengthen my basics. But my eyes stared at the most important book. An Introduction to Gravity Power. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. At this moment, I feel glad that I decided to join the Yellow River Academy. To think the academy has an inheritance book about gravity magic. It feels good. But again, I don't know whether the library has to follow up on books. Suddenly, I remember the words of my senior sister. Long ago there was a wizard with gravity magic who worked in this academy. Maybe the name of the person might be Mitchell Park. So this book is related to the work of a certain ancestor. A glow appeared in my eyes. If it is true, then my future journey here would be smooth. After calming down my heart, I looked at the next row of information. Spell model, I uttered. But after looking at them, I feel a little disappointed. I understand that gravity magic is rare compared to other elemental magic. So I shouldn't expect anything more. It's already great that someone paved a way for me long ago. For now, I just need to follow that. After convincing myself, I glanced at the spells again. The spell model for level 3 is not accessible. So I don't know whether level 3 has any new spell model or the continuation of previous spell models. Then shaking my head, I decided to select the Gravity Blast spell model. I vaguely guessed the working of the Gravity Blast spell model. Instead of a gradual increase in gravitational pressure, I believe gravity spell uses the opposite. Nowadays, my gravitational power can cause damage to the level 5 wizard. But there is no perfect spell to control. If I use gravitational power for more than a couple of seconds, it would threaten the opponent's life. This is something troubling me lately. But to solve it properly, I have to reach level 5 or find some other spells to channel the magic power properly. But I believe the combination of the Gravity Blast spell and my current gravitational power would be deadly. If I come across any level 6 wizard from the Dark League, I can fight against them without any worry. Then retracting my thoughts, I touch the panel. When my finger lands on the Gravity Blast spell model, the name disappeared and the next second I found a row of information in my mind. Next, my gaze landed on the other 3 spells. They are an upgraded model of Tier 1 spell. So I touched the other 3 spell models one by one. The next second, the names disappeared and rows of information appeared in my mind once again. There is no need for me to waste my time constructing the model. My system will take care of it. When the process is completed, System, show my status panel, I said to the system. Ding. The host's command is recognized. Ding. Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 80%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 35%. Progressing. 5.5%/month. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power 700. Mana capacity 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 160. Speed, 161. Stamina, 165. Vitality, 164. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 18%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide system panel appeared in front of my eyes. My gaze immediately fell on the spell slots. Seeing that another spell appeared after the third spell, my lips curved into a gentle arc. Then I closed the status panel and decided to collect the books, including the basic books and the special books. I can now access those books from my student account. There is no need to visit the library for each book. It saved me a lot of time. Then after completing the process, I walked back to the toll booth. Creak. The door closed. The toll booth started to move. After a few minutes, I appeared back in my previous location. I revealed a smile on my face. The function of the library is sophisticated. Then shaking my head, I walked out of the toll booth. The female staff nodded at me. Then she started to record something. I believe she is registering the wizard student's visit time. My work here has been completed. Now it's time to get back to the dorm. Then I started to stride toward the dormitory. While walking, I observed the peace and tranquility inside the academy. Suddenly, I thought of something. I have yet to visit the office where the task is being released. Then I changed my direction and followed the path according to the map. Apart from the 12 wizard halls, the task office is common in every house. Due to the huge size of the academy, a task office was created for each house. So I'm going towards the outer house one. A few minutes later, I felt dizzy. It's been 15 minutes since I started walking from the library, but I have not reached the task office yet. Sure, the academy is magical. After walking past different rooms and corridors, I finally see the place. It's a huge hall, and the mission tasks were displayed on the screen. For a moment, I stood in the same place and started to observe everyone. I see wizards either in a group or alone walking up to the desk and registering their names to receive the task. I see many holographic ID within a couple of seconds. It's a very quick process. After receiving the task, people immediately walked away from the place. Seeing that, a huge curiosity rose in my heart. I want to see what type of tasks were released. The Yellow River Academy. Task board. Rank 1 task. Gather 50 nightmare flowers. Reward, 50 low mana stones, 100 battle points. Rank 1 task. Assist the Capitol Police Force for 1 week. Reward, 100 low mana stones, 200 battle points. Rank 1 task. Healing potion 10 bottles. Reward, 150 low mana stones, 100 battle points. Rank 1 task. Gather the tusk of third order wild boar. Reward, 100 low mana stones, 50 battle points. When I looked at the row of a task, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. The rank 1 task seems to be the lowest tier. This is the first time I came across mana stones. Low mana stones? I heard the mana stones were condensed essence of mana energy. But looking at the quality, I believe mana stones were divided into quality. A curiosity rose in my heart. I never used the mana stones to practice before. I held up my chin in contemplation. Is there any channel to buy these things? I don't know whether wizards use alliance points here. I should better inquire about the exchange rate. After figuring it out, I glanced at the next thing, which are battle points. If you gather more battle points, you can access more study materials in the library. Then after spending a few more minutes, I walked back to the dorm. Now that I understand the working of a task job, I'm going to spend the rest of my time upgrading my knowledge. Several minutes later, I came back to my room. After taking a long bath, I changed into casual clothes. There is still no notification about the special class. I hope they will release some notifications soon. Then I sat down and started to access the study materials. First, I started to study the book An Introduction to Gravity Power by Mitchell Park. I believe this book would provide me with a better understanding of gravity. I accessed the book from my student account and started to read it. What is gravity? A type of elemental mana force, which is considered to be a sub-element power compared to other elements of nature. The information on the first page itself drew my attention. When I began to read it, a look of understanding dawned on my face. I feel enlightened. This is the first time I'm reading study materials related to gravity, which is priceless. The information recorded in these books was not spewed randomly, but instead it's information tested by someone. Otherwise, I don't think an academy of this size would store fake materials in the library. Before coming here, I always thought the gravity element was similar to other elements. But I had never expected the gravity element to be a sub-element. My expression turned a bit solemn. Without realizing it, I started immersing myself in reading. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 3 hours later, I closed the communication watch. My brain is already loaded with information. I can't stuff more information in my brain. I have finished 1/3 of this book. After digesting the information, I will continue later. Gravity? Why is it called a sub-element? Because it is very one-dimensional, unlike other elements of nature such as fire, water, wind, earth, and metal, which have many attributes. The power of gravity magic lies in the control of the force. Force? No wonder I find it very hard to execute. To control force-type magic, the wizard must have proficient control over it. So I'm a control-type wizard. I believe in the control-type magic category, my magic would be the first. Then I shook my head in denial. I'm not into the control field at all. I want to be a full-time attack wizard. My place plays an important role in a wizard team. But I don't think I would join any wizard team in the future. I have a lot of secrets to hide. At present, only my Loki nature provides safe cover. But the problem is that gravity magic doesn't have that many spells in the library. And the ancestor seems to be a full-time control wizard. It's already a miracle to see a spell called Gravity Blast. In my opinion, it is the first attack-type spell of gravity magic. No wonder gravity magic is rated as sub-taboo power. It's a sub-element force, at the same time no one can rival the gravity magic in the same rank. On the other hand, extreme elements such as time and space are a mystery. They are rated as taboo elements. Even a level 1 spell of time and space magic can pose a huge threat. I couldn't help but think of the Gregor Mansion. The previous owner of the mansion seems to have some contact with time and space magic. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain some functions of the Gregor Mansion, especially the ability to freeze time. In my case, it is very high-level magic. I revealed a bitter smile on my face. Fortunately, I'm a sub-taboo wizard. There is a way before me. But when it comes to time and space magic, it's a blessing and curse. The blessing is that you can have supreme magic that everyone is afraid of. The cure is that you have to find an inheritance of it. Otherwise, it is difficult to walk the road. When the realization struck me, I feel somewhat enlightened. Unconsciously, I seem to attract gravity energy towards me. After realizing the movement, I sat cross-legged and started to run the gravity arc method. The gray mana particles started to gather faster than before. This movement surprised me, but I quickly calmed down my heart and started to circulate the energy inside my body. After circulation, the energy gathered inside the sacred mana core. Then I repeated the process. Time passes in a blink of an eye. 3 hours later, I stopped my meditation. I feel every muscle of mine beaming with power. I felt a new change, but I don't know what exactly it is. Then I decided to check. System, show my status panel. Then I said to the system, ding. The host's command is recognized. Ding. Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 81%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 38%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color, pale orange. Strength, 163. Speed, 164. Stamina, 168. Vitality, 167. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 21%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. Seeing that rate of absorption increased by 1%, a look of understanding dawned upon me. I never expected the mental method to improve slightly. So 1/3 of my knowledge helped me to improve the rate of absorption. I don't know whether this will be the case with the rest also. This increased the curiosity in my heart. I can't wait to read further. Then shaking my head, I looked at other details. The power attributes were increased by 3 points, which further increased my strength as a wizard. After closing the panel, I decided to take some rest before continuing to read. Several minutes later, I started to read the gravity book again. As time goes on, my understanding of gravity force magic deepens further. All I needed was a separate practice room to test the gravity spells. I feel I can gain better control over the gravity magic. 1 hour later, I stopped reading the book and closed the communication watch. It's time for lunch. I got up from the ground and changed my clothes to my uniform. After wearing the red robe, I decided to move out. Beep! The message notification sound rang suddenly. Seeing that, I stopped my movement and read the message. The message is from my senior sister. My expression became a little bit strange. I thought she was busy with her work, but looks like she got some free time. A small smile appeared on my face. Then after closing the door, I immediately walked towards the sub-taboo hall. What happened? She asked me to visit the sub-taboo hall. A question appeared in my mind. Then shaking my head, I stride towards the sub-taboo hall. A few minutes later, I reached the hall. After verification, I walked into the hall. Then I see the middle-aged woman sitting on the sofa. My arrival attracted her attention. Vincent, come here. I want to tell you something, Carolina Slate said. Suddenly, her eyes paused for a moment. She felt Vincent's strength has improved further. Hearing that, I sat opposite her. I wonder what she is going to talk about. The Yellow River Academy? Sub-taboo hall. Senior sister, what is it? I asked out of curiosity. Her expression tells me that she wants to speak about some important topic. Carolina collected her thoughts and answered, Junior brother, are you aware of the rankings in our academy? I solemnly nodded my head. Who doesn't know the ranking? It is one of the things which drew my attention after joining the academy. Seeing that, Carolina further explained, the resources are currently tight right now. To gain more resources, we need to raise the ranking of our hall. The ranking depends upon the performance of wizards in each house. Currently, in the outer house ranking, our hall sits at the bottom. After saying that, she looked at Vincent. She expected to see some kind of hesitation from Vincent. But to her disappointment, there is none. Vincent's reaction is a bit like he had expected this conversation to happen. Battle Tower, oh? I mumbled under my breath. Earlier, I wanted to test myself in the Battle Tower. But midway, I got engrossed in books. A frown appeared on my face. But what is the hurry in that? I can still go to the Battle Tower later. Senior, I already know about the Battle Tower points. But I want to try it after joining the special program, I said straightforwardly. A look of understanding dawned upon Carolina. She let out a small chuckle before saying, I guess, apart from you, every other C candidate was trying out their strength in Battle Tower. But it's fine. I just wanted to remind you about it. You can do it later. As long as you help the outer house to reach above average ranking, we will get more resources. Oh yes, beware of other C candidates. This time there are a lot of influential people. Don't bump into them unnecessarily, she added further. Hearing that, I replied, okay. Then Carolina has some other work to do. So she left the hall. When she disappeared completely, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. As I had assumed earlier, resources were tilted toward better ranking halls in the academy. If the sub-taboo hall gets a good ranking in outer house, then the overall ranking of our hall would be improved. That's what she meant. Maybe newcomers from other halls were getting ranked. Only the sub-taboo hall is silent without any noise. So no wonder that my senior sister came to remind me what to do. I haven't tested my new strength yet. I think Battle Tower is a better place than the training ground. I can continue my reading later. But before that, let's see what the Battle Tower is all about. After figuring it out, I decided to visit the Battle Tower. Carolina? But I don't want to tell her. Who knows, the senior sister's presence might draw unwanted attention. Then I walked out of the hall and stride towards the Battle Tower. To reach the Battle Tower, I have to access the toll booth again. Toll booth again? I closed the map. A strange expression appeared on my face. After walking out, I came across the toll booth in the corridor. Without checking the surroundings, I hurriedly walked forward to enter. Creak. After entering inside, I immediately used my holographic ID to get verified. Next, I see the many destination names on a display screen. 1. Dining hall. 2. Cafeteria. 3. Library. 4. Task office. 5. Herb garden. 6. Battle Tower 7. Dormitory. 8. Reward Distribution Office. 9. Potion Office 10. Other halls. Again a strange expression appeared on my face. To think the toll booth travel shortens the distance. Unaware of it, I had to take a long walk before. No wonder I haven't come across that many people here. I revealed a small smile on my face. Well, now that I know, I can go back to the dormitory using the toll booth again. I recovered myself before selecting the battle tower. Click! The toll booth started to move. As usual, I can't see through the window. The scenes appeared to be blurry. 5 minutes later, the toll booth comes to standstill. I reach the destination. After realizing this, I walked out of the booth. When I stepped outside, I was awed by the breathtaking view. It's a majestic tower glowing with bright lights. There is no concept of day and night here. As expected, this location is another hidden space. No wonder the surroundings were dark. A look of understanding dawned upon me. To access the hidden location, wizards can only use the toll booth. It's not a casual place to reach on a walk. Next, my gaze turned toward the sea of wizards. More than 100 or so people were coming and going via toll booths. Excuse me, can you move aside? I heard a voice right next to me. Hearing that, I moved away from the toll booth. Beast wizard, surprise filled my heart. The person who asked me is a beast wizard. He wanted to access my toll booth. His green lizard tail drew my attention. Feeling the burning gaze of mine, harumph, the beast wizard snorted before entering the toll booth. Hearing that, I immediately turned away. It's impolite to stare like that. Fortunately, the other person seemed to be used to it. The lizard tail? I'm curious whether it's a permanent part of the wizard's body or just an external manifestation of magic power. For a moment, I forgot my purpose for visiting here. The number of wizards is higher than in the dining hall. In dining hall, you can't stare at a person. But here it's different. Everyone is sizing the wizards who came out of the battle tower. The atmosphere here is something. Next, I decided to observe wizards before entering the battle tower. Because there is no time limit for this. You can even access the battle tower at midnight. While my eyes scanned the sea of people, one of the wizards caught my attention. A female wizard is surrounded by blue-colored smoke, which seems interesting to me, because the blue-color smoke's likely to be part of her magic power. Does it consume the wizard's mana? A question appeared in my heart. Interesting. Then I shifted my attention from her to other wizards. Suddenly, something common broke out. Hey, who is she? A person came out of the exit door. The taboo hall member. The crowd's voice was so loud. It reached my ears. The next second, I looked at the entrance. A female wizard with white hair is stepping down the stairs. I felt déjà vu for a moment. The female wizard looked a bit familiar, but I haven't seen her before. Soon, an image appears in my mind. A day ago, back in the dining hall, I saw the back of the stunning woman. So, it's her, and my eyes lit up with surprise. But before I could rejoice, another word reached my ears. Taboo hall? My expression turned a bit serious. This time, I didn't look at her. Rather, my gaze fell on the ranking board. Inner house ranks. Number 1, Taboo Hall. Battle Tower, level 3, floor -80. Achiever name, Lara White. Level 3, Snowstorm Wizard. Inner house member. Special program student. When I read the information, it surprised me. I finally see the proud disciple of Elder Kate. I stood like a frozen statue. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. This is the first time I have appreciated someone's beauty. But it turned out that beauty is going to be my lifelong Riven futural. I still remember the words of Elder Kate. She always stressed the point that my strength is not enough. At that time, it piqued my curiosity. But now I'm convinced. Her strength is not simple in level 3 rank. And it appeared she has become an inner house member also. Yesterday, I saw the outer house ranks. Taboo Hall ranked first in that ranking. And now in inner house ranking, the Taboo Hall became first again. In both houses, she helped her hall to reach first spot. A wry smile appeared on my face. Now I realize the intention of my senior sister. The C candidate from Taboo Hall is causing so much noise. So I can't stay silent anymore. Then I perked up my ears to listen to people's conversation. When Lara left the battle tower, the atmosphere returned to usual. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. An important piece of information made my doubts clear. When Lara officially joined the academy like me, her strength was already in the level 3 rank. But for freshers, it's necessary to participate in outer house rankings before getting into the inner house. So her situation is quite rare. That's why she was allowed to participate in outer house rankings first. As a Taboo Hall member, her strength didn't arouse any suspicion. But if I surpass her, then it will lead to exposure of my unnatural strength. So I won't do that. But I'm a level 2 wizard. I can at least change the outer house rankings. The Yellow River Academy. Battle Tower. Seeing that everyone recovered from the small episode, my lips curved into a gentle arc. I slowly stride towards the battle tower. Wizards were coming and going, so my appearance didn't cause any waves. Unless there is a significant change in rankings, people won't care about other things. After passing through the crowd, I got closer to the tower. There is a huge entrance door in front of me. I see wizards are directly stepping inside. There is no verification done before entering the tower, so I confidently took a step forward to enter. Creak! The door opened automatically. Then I stepped inside. Before I could realize it, I got shifted to a separate space. This I uttered. Wizard's name, Vincent Carey. Wizard rank, level -2. Magic, gravity. Hall, subtaboo. House, outer house. House rank, 12th. Floor, none. Reminder, the Battle Tower challenge starts in 10 minutes. A display screen appeared all of a sudden. Seeing the row of information, my heart skips a beat. Because I didn't even verify my I.D. So how come my information appeared out of nowhere? I turned around and took a look at the surroundings. There is nothing but space around me. Seeing that, I couldn't control my inner curiosity in me. The Battle Tower is a powerful magic artifact. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain this function. Shaking my head, I retracted my thoughts. Then my gaze fell on the floor, which I believe has to do with floor clearance. Lara White had cleared the 80th floor in Inner House. So higher the floor clearance, the higher the rank. Finally, I got relaxed and ready to tackle the challenge. Especially the 10 minutes allocated for a newcomer to think. After 10 minutes, the nightmare will officially start. 10 minutes later, challenge starts. Floor number 1. A row of information appeared the next second. Seeing that, I looked ahead. The environment changed completely. Instead of space, now the environment changed into vast open plains. Before I could get up by it, I heard a vibration sound from the ground. I instantly realized something is rushing towards me. After a few seconds, I see the appearance of the monster. A huge wild boar is dashing towards me. A row of information appeared on top of the boar's head. Giant wild boar, second order monster. Seeing that, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. Next second, I pointed my finger at the incoming monster and said, "Gravity field." The next second, a tremendous force descended from above. The incoming monster didn't have time to react. It turned into mincemeat the very next second. Floor 1 cleared. Current floor count, 1. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. Seeing the next row of information, a look of understanding dawned upon me. As I guessed earlier, maximum floor clearance will get me into the top ranks. 5 seconds later, challenge starts. Floor no, 2. The vast open plains didn't change. Rather, I heard more than one vibration from the ground. 2 giant wild boar monsters rushed towards me in 2 different directions. This time it's not blind rushing. I see some coordination. Both monsters seem to run at the same pace. A look of bewilderment appeared on my face. I thought the second floor would have a different monster, but it looks like it's just a simple increase in numbers. Seeing the monster getting closer to me, I raised my hand once again to cast the spell. Gravity field, I said. Again, a tremendous force appeared as a result of the spell. When the 2 monsters stepped inside the gravity field, the body burst into pieces and their parts were splattered on the ground. Floor 2 cleared. Current floor count, 2. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. The feeling is getting almost real. But I know these were just phantoms of the monsters, not the real ones. Because I had never heard of a boar species of that size before. It is completely new to me. 5 seconds later, challenge starts. Floor no, 3. This time I'm sure the number will be 3. Does it make any difference to me? The answer is no. But it's different for wizards from other streams. Especially for power-type wizards. They have no other choice other than to engage in melee combat against the monsters. So the situation is quite favorable to me. Swish! A similar scene repeated. This time 3 giant wild boar monsters appeared again. But I felt bored using the same spell again. For a change, I decided to use another spell. I pointed my fingers at incoming monsters and said, "Gravity push." The instant spell cast was so fast that the incoming monsters froze like a statue seconds later. The next second, their body was thrown away like broken kites. The monster's body has already been crushed under the gravity force. There is no strand of vitality left. Floor 3, cleared. Current floor count, 3. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. Time passed in a blink of an eye. I successfully cleared consecutive floors very quickly. 15 minutes later. Floor 9, cleared. Current floor count, 9. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. Finally, I'm going to reach the double number count. I have to say though, fighting against the same monsters is a little bit boring. But the difficulty has risen after more monsters started to coordinate with each other. Thankfully, I'm a control wizard. So I was able to control the monster freely. If I want to go all out, then the challenge will become too easy. I can use upgraded gravitational force to destroy all the monsters in my way. But that method is not going to improve my battle awareness. I decided to stop relying on it. Before coming to the academy, I made up my mind to use the upgraded gravity power only in a desperate situation. Other than that, I'm going to use my level 2 rank spell. Swish! When I was lost in thoughts, the monster's sound got me back to reality. This time there are 10 monsters. A small smile appeared on my face. Unlike the last 9 times, this time the monsters didn't take the initiative to attack me. The monsters were casually sizing me instead. To make them act like this, I wonder whether the previous battles were recorded in the monster's memory. Otherwise, there is no need for them to show such caution. A curiosity piqued in my heart. For this kind of situation, the gravity pull spell seems useful. So without waiting further, I raised my hand to cast the spell again. Gravity pull, I said. Swish! I feel the horrible change. I became the center of attraction where the gravity power pulls down everyone to me. Real war. The monster let out a wild scream. But it's late to escape now. I see 4 monsters immediately get closer to me. I clenched my fist and punched one monster. PFFF. When my fist landed on the monster's head, the skull crushed like a watermelon. My fist easily tore through its head. The brain parts were spilled. I dealt with the other 3 monsters similarly. It has been a long time since I relied on my body strength. But it's enough to fight against second-order monsters. After finishing the 4 monsters, I looked at the other 6 monsters. I decided to use a similar method to pull down other monsters. A few minutes later, outside, nobody noticed the changes in the leaderboard ranking, where Subtaboo Hall's Outer House ranking is getting higher as time goes on. Leaderboard, Outer House. Number 9, Mechanical Hall. Number 10, Subtaboo Hall a carrot. Number 11, Research Hall. Number 12, Medical Hall. Suddenly, the groups from the Mechanical Hall noticed the rank changes, because they were ranked in 9th position. And the symbol next to the name shows that someone from Subtaboo Hall is currently challenging the tower. The mechanical wizards started to murmur among themselves. Because the Subtaboo Hall is not an ordinary hall. Every wizard in that hall is a notable powerhouse. So they are afraid of offending wizards from Subtaboo Hall. But it doesn't mean it stopped their curiosity. Everyone wants to know who is the newcomer making such a noise. Everyone saw it's the Outer House. Ranking. Apart from newcomers, no one can change the rankings of Subtaboo Hall. Subtaboo Hall. Several minutes ago, the Deadly Vine Wizard, Carolina Slate, is working in the hall. Apart from her, there is no one in the hall. She has been taking care of the office work lately. That's why she has no other choice but to make some frequent visits to hall. Beep. Carolina Slate, who is operating the computer system. Suddenly, I received a message from the Battle Tower server. At first, she didn't take it seriously. She thought some other hall is making some progress in ranks. Beep. After a few seconds, she received one more notification. Even at this time, she didn't care to read. But when a few more notifications came, it immediately attracted her attention. Which hall is making such a noise? She muttered to herself. When she finally noticed the name, her eyes lit up with surprise. Subtaboo Hall. Carolina Slate couldn't believe her own eyes. She once again read the message to confirm it. Then she took a deep breath before muttering, "He listened to my words." Carolina thought Vincent was not interested in the battle tower. So she stopped persuading him earlier. But right now, looking at the change in ranks, she felt happy that their Subtaboo Hall is not going to stay at the bottom forever. For a moment, she almost forgot about her work. Her eyes were focused on the battle tower updates. When their position reached the 10th number, she couldn't sit still and decided to go to the battle tower to see it. Vincent is rising through the ranks at a fast rate. If he can maintain the same speed, she believes that their hall will reach the top 5 ranks soon. Battle tower. At this time, a small commotion broke out. The mechanical wizard's strange behavior was noticed by wizards from other halls. When some of the keen people noticed the difference, they were too stunned as well. The wizards from the mechanical hall fixed their eyes on the leaderboard. After a few minutes, a large number of wizards started to notice the change in the outer house ranks. The name of the sub-taboo hall is especially attracting everyone's attention. Gasp! A small commotion broke out. The wizards from the transformation hall were stunned as well. Hey, who is this person? A skinny wizard with pale skin color asked out in surprise. The skinny wizard is important in the transformation hall, so his question drew attention. But the transformation hall's wizards were clueless as well. They started to notice the changes now, so they didn't know many details. Another transformation hall wizard opened his mouth to say, a ghost? Maybe the mechanical heads know something. The skinny wizard wrinkles his eyebrows. The name Ghost is a wizard title, because his transformation magic is related to the ghost body. So other wizards usually address him using his title name. But the skinny wizard looked at the leaderboard. He knows the status of their hall. Currently, the transformation hall is ranked in the 8th position. He feels their rank is going to change today. After realizing this, he shifted his gaze towards the groups of mechanical wizards. His eyes finally spotted the familiar face. A wizard with mechanical hands. The skinny wizard then started to walk towards him. On the other hand, the mechanical wizards are in a dilemma as well. Stuart, what should we do now? If this goes on, the rank of our hall will change. Then we should forget about getting more resources from the academy. The wizards from the mechanical hall turned their gaze toward a wizard with mechanical hands. His arms were modified through lab experiments. On top of it, his magic powers sit in line with the mechanical stream. So he is considered to be one of the powerhouses in the outer house. Feeling the gazes of everyone, the mechanical wizard Stuart clenched his steel fist. He can feel the dormant power hiding in his steel arm. Suddenly, he noticed someone approaching the group from a distance. When he raised his head to see, he realized the wizard is none other than a ghost. Ghost, what do you think of the newcomer? Without minding the gazes of everyone, he asked out loud. The ghost from the mechanical hall is considered to be one of his friends. So he wanted to hear the opinion of his friend. The other wizards who surrounded Stuart retreated backward. They gave the space for the two of them to talk. The skinny wizard wasn't surprised by Stuart's words. He knows about Stuart's character. This guy is competitive. It doesn't matter whether it's a taboo hall or sub-taboo hall. Stuart is not afraid of them. After getting near him, the skinny wizard answered, I'm just like you. I don't know about the new sub-taboo wizard, but from the rankings I see that he is quite powerful. Hearing that, Stuart sneered inside. He saw through Ghost's thoughts. But their ranks are inevitably going to be affected. Stuart fell silent for a moment. But his heart was not calm, because someone from Taboo Hall is already making noise. And that person already stepped into the inner house. So he is not stupid to challenge level 3 wizards. But he can fight against this newcomer who is an outer house wizard. After a few seconds, he asked, a ghost, tell me honestly, what are my chances? The skinny wizard was stunned in his heart. Then his mouth curved into an arc. As expected, Stuart is crazy as ever. Stuart has gathered his reputation by challenging wizards from other halls. Usually the wizards from the mechanical hall were not known for their aggression. But Stuart is different. His magic gives him an added boost to his wizard path. Their voices were not so low. It reached the ears of other wizards, especially the wizards from the Transformation Hall and Mechanical Hall. The groups were not surprised by Stuart's bold comments, because Stuart is known for such things. Everyone's eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Using this opportunity, some even posted about this on their academy's social site. The skinny wizard raised his eyebrows for a moment. Though he is using Stuart's weakness, he doesn't want the other party to get hurt badly. Compared to the newcomer, you are a veteran in the same rank. And you have accumulated so much battle experience through countless challenges, he said. After saying that, he added further, so it's not difficult for you to win. But Stuart is gaining some confidence from his friend's words, which seems logical to him. He is a veteran of the same rank. Even though he comes from Mechanical Hall, he can easily defeat those above-average wizards from other halls. Then suddenly the ghost gave a pause. Stuart asked, but what? The skinny wizard said with a smile, if you miss this opportunity to fight him, then it's impossible to convince the newcomer later. We all know about that taboo wizard, right? Lara White, Stuart mumbled under his breath. How can he forget that name? Earlier he wanted to challenge her. But before he knew it, she joined the inner house. which made him lose his face in front of everyone. He doesn't want to see the same case happen with the newcomer also. Finally, in the presence of everyone, Stuart made a statement. He said, "All right, I'm going to challenge him." Cheer! Wizards from Mechanical Hall cheered in response. The skinny wizard revealed a bright smile on his face. If this duel happens, he will be able to access the strength of the new sub-taboo wizard. Soon the post about Stuart's statement starts to make rounds. Even those halls who weren't aware of changes in leaderboard ranks started to notice it. While this was happening, Carolina Slade already arrived in front of the battle tower. She then finds a spot to stand and watch. Her arrival wasn't noticed by anyone. She solemnly looked at the leaderboard. She knows that it's not that easy to reach the top ranks. Especially for a newcomer, it's extremely difficult. Floor 10, cleared. Current floor count, 10. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. The first 10 floors were not that challenging, so I'm quite looking forward to this 11th floor. Swish! A massive monster appeared in front of my eyes. Steel Bull, second order monster. A bull monster with a steel body is looking at me with bloodshot eyes. My expression becomes dignified. Finally, I felt some challenge. Gravity field, I pointed my finger at the monster. A tremendous force landed on the steel bull. Feeling threatened, the steel bull monster got maddened. It immediately tried to move away from the spot. But the gravity force is so huge that the steel body of the bull monster is starting to crack little by little. I carefully controlled the gravity force. Only a small part of gravity magic is being released and controlled. In case if I release full power, the bull monster would blow away completely. And it would hinder my experience then. A few seconds later, the steel bull monster crashed completely. Floor 11, cleared. Current floor count, 11. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. The steel bull monster is tenacious and stronger than the boar monster. Both are second-order monsters, but the difference in strength is huge. Challenge starts. Floor no, 12. Swish! Swish! 2 bull monsters appeared in my sight. Finally, I started to get to know about the battle tower. The monsters were going to increase in number until the 20th floor. Then without thinking further, I repeated the same process. I controlled the monsters using a gravity field, then I dealt with them one by one. Time passed in a blink of an eye. I cleared the successive floors without much effort. With that, I started to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of the monster from each battle. 30 minutes later, challenge starts. Floor no, 20. Swish! Swish! 10 bull monsters appeared in a blink of an eye. This gave me a familiar feeling. Like the previous floors, the bull monsters also started to coordinate with each other. Battle tower. Seeing that bull monsters surrounded me, my eyes gleamed with a twinkle. This is the right opportunity to use my new spell model. I pointed my finger at the incoming monster. Gravity blast, I uttered. The next second, a wisp of gravity magic released from my finger and shot at the monster at breakneck speed. When the magic attack comes in contact with the monster became stiff. It froze in the same spot like a motionless statue. Boom! After a couple of seconds, the monster's body blasted into pieces. The gravitational force penetrated inside the monster and destroyed it in a blink of an eye. I observed the whole process without blinking for a second. I see there is a difference between gravity field spell and gravity blast spell. The gravity field spell is a control type attack and it's based on range, whereas gravity blast is a pure attack type spell. Unlike the previous spell, there is no range restriction. I can use this spell to attack monsters separately. After figuring it out, I smiled in satisfaction. Because I think the gravity blast spell would consume less mana than gravity field spell. Also, I will have better control over my gravity magic. I don't have to worry about miscalculations. The recent upgrade in gravity force can be utilized fully in this new spell. The more the force in gravity magic, the more the blast power would be. After reading this, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. After retracting the thoughts, I started to eliminate other monsters. Gravity blast? Gravity blast? A continuous magic spell falls on the raging monsters. One by one, all the monsters turned stiff and burst into pieces the next second. Several minutes later, floor 20 cleared. Current floor count, 20. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. The next pop-up appeared before my eyes. Seeing that, a hint of expectation rose in my heart. I know the next monster will be a different one, and I'm itching to use the new gravity blast spell against all monsters. As I expected earlier, the gravity blast is suitable for using powerful gravitational force. There are no constraints whatsoever. It is a pure destructive spell tailor-made for gravity wizards like me. Rest, I have to practice the other 3 level 2 spells before getting proficient in it. Challenge starts. 4 No. 21. I'm observing my surroundings. The landscape setting didn't change. I wonder what type of monster is going to come. SSSHH. A loud hissing sound reached my ears. My eyes lit up with surprise. This one monster can be found everywhere in the wilderness. I can't forget the time when I fled from the snake monster in fear. Swish. Dotted snake, second order monster. Seeing that, I became ready. I know where the weakness of this monster lies. But considering my strength now, I feel there is no need for using the tactic. I will blast away this monster instead. Gravity blast. I raised my finger and cast the spell at the monster. The snake monster instantly felt a threat. Feeling the horrible power coming towards it, the monster wants to slip away. But it is too late to escape now. The magic attack lands on it within seconds. The snake monster turned stiff and in the next second it broke into pieces like glass. Seeing that, my lips curved into the arc. I don't know why, but I'm enjoying this power. I don't know whether there will be a reward for reaching the top ranks. After coming out of the tower, I'll ask my senior. She knows the ins and outs. If she can provide me with mana stones, it would be better. Outside. Leaderboard. Number 9, Sub-Taboo Hall. And 0.10, Mechanical Hall. And 9.11, Research Hall. Number 12, Medical Hall. The ranking of Mechanical Hall suddenly changed and it went down to number 9th position. This immediate change didn't go unnoticed by many gathered at the tower. Damn it, Stuart cursed it out loud. As feared earlier, their hall ranking went down 1 number. This will hit their allocation of resources. The mechanical wizard Stuart's eyes burst out with a cold glint. Sub-taboo wizards are no joke. Stuart heard his friend sigh to himself. Hearing that, he realized his anger was unnecessary. Sub-taboo wizards are known for their powerful magic, though they are not destructive as taboo wizards. But still, they can handle other streams of wizards easily. After calming down his anger, Stuart looked at the leaderboard. This time his thoughts became clear. He realized that floor number 20 was cleared by the sub-taboo wizard. But the information about the wizard appears only when he walks out the tower. Then taking one glance at the leaderboard, he decided to spend some time in practice and tinkering with his metallic arm. Soon the wizards from the mechanical hall vacated the spot. After several minutes, the skinny wizard ghost from the transformation hall decided to leave as well. He saw Stuart leaving earlier. Stuart was not hot-headed this time. If it was any other hall, he might confront without preparation. But when it comes to Sub-Taboo Hall, he also agrees with Stuart's approach. Anyway, the news has been spreading wildly. There will be some show sooner or later. Then after taking a glance at the leaderboard, he too left the battle tower along with his hall members. When the 2 wizard halls left, Carolina Slate is busy replying to text messages. Currently, she is the one active in Sub-Taboo Hall. All other bigwigs are out of the city right now. As far as she knows, the core house members are not in the country at all. So she is the one managing the office stuff in the end. Sigh. Gravity magic is terrible as the record says. Carolina Slate blinked her big eyes looking at the leaderboard. Everyone knows about the gravity ancestor once who shone brightly in his era. But after that, there is no second gravity wizard in the academy. After this performance, there will be huge expectations for Vincent. And Carolina believes that the academy won't spare any effort to train him. Then her gaze fell on a ranking of other halls as well. Outer House ranking. 1. Taboo Hall. 2. Bloodline Hall. 3. Elemental Hall. 4. Weapon Hall. 5. Power Hall. 6. Unique Hall. 7. Beast Hall. 8. Transformation Hall. 9. Sub-Taboo Hall. 10. Mechanical Hall. 11. Research Hall. 12. Medical Hall. Carolina sees that Transformation Hall ranked 8th in position. Then she looked at the other 2 halls ranked at 7th and 6th position. It will be a matter of time before Vincent surpasses them. In her opinion, only the top 5 ranks are challenging to sub-taboo wizards like them. But she doesn't know how long Vincent can last. The classes for the special program were yet to start. So she didn't know her strength and weakness of Vincent. If there is a dual video, she can use that to access it. But here her mind is blank right now. Outside, the media posts from mechanical wizards garnered more attention than they had expected, especially when the wizards from the mechanical hall went out to learn about the new sub-taboo wizard. Somehow they find out the newcomer's identity. Vincent Carey, level 2 gravity wizard. Sub-taboo hall. When they came to know about this, the information spread like a wildfire. Gravity wizard. Are you kidding me? Stuart exclaimed in surprise, looking at the person who broke the news to him. Who doesn't know about the gravity ancestor? The gravity ancestor is being revered not only by sub-taboo wizards, but also revered by the rest of the academy. Gravity ancestor used to be the top powerhouse in history, and he was extremely famous. Even today he was considered a powerful presence among many ancestors of the academy. It took some seconds for him to digest the fact. After that he let out a long sigh. Now he understood the true strength of the newcomer. He looked at his metallic arm. He doesn't know whether the metallic arc can withstand the power of gravity. His expression turned solemn. Now that the post was already making rounds, there is no point in retreating anymore. Considering his haste actions earlier, a wry smile appeared on his face. People were now going to look forward to their duel more. Shaking his head, he decided to practice more. Even the ghost wizard from the transformation hall was stunned in disbelief. He underestimated the newcomers this time. At first, there was a snowstorm wizard from Taboo Hall, and now there is a gravity wizard from Sub-Taboo Hall. These two newcomers are alone to overwhelm other wizards. Then suddenly he thought about Stuart. An amusing smile appeared on his face. Hereafter it is not going to be about Stuart's challenge post. Now everyone will be looking forward to seeing the infamous gravity magic in action. Even for himself, a tinge of expectation rose in his heart. He believed that this would be the same case with other halls. Unknowingly, Stuart's post will allow us to witness the amazing duel in the coming days. But he didn't consider whether the newcomer would accept the challenge post or not. Battle Tower. When the last monster died, a row of information appeared in front of me. Floor 30, cleared. Current floor count, 30. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. Above this one, there are 70 floors. And I believe the 100th floor will be the last one. After retracting my thoughts, I looked around me. Challenge starts. Floor no, 31. Swish. Suddenly, I felt movement above me. I raised my head and looked at the sky. The atmosphere around me completely changed. It is still the open vast plains, but the sky turned completely dark. It's nighttime. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. There is going to be a new challenge. What type of monster hunts during nighttime? A curiosity rose in my heart. Before I could guess the name, I sensed the monster coming towards me. Bird-type monster, I muttered to myself as I felt some movements in the air. Swish! In a blink of an eye, the monster became visible to me. Wizards' eyes are more powerful than regular humans, so there is no problem for me to recognize the monster. Purple Bat King, second order monster. Seeing the name on top of the monster, a look of understanding dawned upon me. No wonder there is a sudden change in the environment. Gravity field, I uttered. A tremendous gravity force appeared the next second. The Bat King immediately gets caught inside the gravity field, and its huge body neck slammed to the ground. This all happened in a blink of an eye. The force was so impactful that the Bat King suffered a gruesome injury. Seeing that, it almost felt real. But I know this is a function of the battle tower. Then I destroyed the monster using Gravity Blast spell. Time passed in a blink of an eye. The previous process got repeated. As the number of floors increases, the number of Bat King monsters increases by 1. On the 40th floor, I came across a black scorpion. This type of venomous monster is considered a favorite by evil wizards. Especially scorpion's venom can rival some of the strong snake monsters. To deal with such a monster, I used a combination of spells to eliminate the scorpion monster. Similarly, on the 50th floor, I faced the infamous razor-toothed hyena. This deadliest monster reminds me of Venom City's wilderness. At that time, I fought with the hyena monster. That one is a different kind. But here this razor-toothed hyena looked like an ancient species. It stands 5 foot tall, but my entire attention is on its razor-sharp teeth. Fortunately, I'm not without whole cards. This monster might pose a threat to others, but for me not. I used Gravity Blast spell to eliminate the monsters and clear successive floors. On the 60th floor, the environment changed again. This time the environment was a swamp. Seeing that, I already guessed in my mind. Swamp is a favorite for crocs. I read it back in school. Looking at the calm black water, I decided to do some tests. I raised my finger and pointed at the swamp. Gravity Blast, I uttered. Next second, a wisp of powerful gravity force falls on the calm swamp. I pointed randomly, but I know that a magic attack will cause some disturbance. Roar! As I had expected, a gigantic monster appeared above the swamp. Swamp crocodile, second order monster. The change in environment might be challenging for elemental wizards, but for me it doesn't matter. I used successive gravity blast spell to kill the monster. Time passed and I reached 70 on the floor eventually. The environment changed again. Right now it has become a desert region. My eyes lit up with surprise. But the surprise was for a moment. Then it disappeared. I find it a little boring. The outer house challenge might be useful for other wizards. But I felt it was a waste of time. I wanted to try the inner house challenge. It's not possible until I get a breakthrough and reach level 3. Swish. Desert salamander, second order monster. Seeing the appearance of the monster, I made up my mind to do it fast and clear further floors very quickly. I locked the monster using gravity field spell. The salamander tried to slip away by disappearing into the dune. But the powerful gravity field made it impossible for the monster to move. Then I quickly eliminated the monster using gravity spells. I followed the same method on consecutive floors. Until I reached the 80th floor. The environment changed into a cave place. What I faced on the 80th floor is different from the previous floors. This time I came face to face with an evil symbol. Black Cave Spider Queen, second order monster. Some of the evil organizations in history had the spider monster as their symbol. Seeing in life it feels disgusting. Especially the terrible smell lingering in the cave. It assaulted my nostrils even before the monster. Then the Spider Queen shot its sticky web at me. Seeing that, I used gravity field spell to make it ineffective. Then after bombarding the Spider Queen with multiple spells, I have successfully killed the monster. After experiencing such a disgusting smell, I made up my mind to quickly attack further floors. Time passed. The cave structure and the Spider Queen monster stayed in my mind. Before none of the monster's attacks reached me, I dealt with those using gravity field spell. But that toxic smell released from the Spider Queen caught me off guard and made me up my guard. I forgot there are monsters with unique attributes. Eventually, I reached the 90th floor. I don't know what is happening outside, but I believe the sub-taboo hall's ranking is in the top 5. Swish! I felt a splash of water. I see the environment changes again. This time it's the sea. I appeared under seawater. My expression is dignified. This is unexpected. I'm going to face the sea monster now. I swam and quickly reached the surface. What is going to appear? I muttered to myself. Thankfully the sea is quite clear. I can see the appearance of a sea monster. A couple of seconds later. Sea shark, second order monster. The sea shark began to move in a circle. Without further ado, I moved my right hand and pointed at the sea monster. Gravity blast, I yelled. A wisp of magic immediately shot at the shark monster at breakneck speed. This time I have increased the gravity force. The magic power can kill level 3 wizards easily. When the gravity force comes in contact with the monster, the sea shark exploded into pieces. Its broken parts splattered in different directions. Seeing that my lips curved into a gentle arc. At the same time, I am also aware of my mana reserve. I felt somewhat drained. So I decided to use the rest of the mana carefully. Time passed in a blink of an eye. Several minutes later, I successfully cleared the consecutive sea floors. Apart from spellcasting, the challenge made me swim non-stop. Floor 99, cleared. Current floor count, 99. Next challenge starts in 5 seconds. Finally, I crossed all hurdles to reach the last floor. Hopefully the sub-taboo hall tops the board after the completion of this challenge. Swish! The environment changed again and I appeared in a dense forest. What appeared before me is that massive shade tree. It took me back to memory lane where I rested under a shade tree in the wilderness. Shade tree monster, 3D order monster. Next second, a row of information appeared before me. My eyes burst out in a cold glint. This time the appearance of the monster is beyond my expectations. Infamous tree monster, I mumbled under my breath. I couldn't help but think of Senior. She has plant-type magic. But this tree monster is a different species altogether. And the tree monster is a third-order monster. Hereafter, only the inner house challenges will have third-order monsters. Swish! Suddenly a massive root shot at me in the blink of an eye. I hurriedly cast a gravity field spell and moved backward. The gravity force slowed down the root's movement in an instant and under the powerful gravity force the root got destroyed. This all happened in a blink of an eye. The next second, another root shot at me. Seeing that I pointed my fingers to cast the spell again. I don't want to waste too much mana. I decided to release full gravity power. Gravity blast, I uttered. A powerful wisp of a magic shot at the incoming root. The root of the tree monster smothered into pieces. The next second, the attack didn't stop. It reached the tree monster. The powerful gravity magic lands on the truck. Boom! Real war. A terrific scream resonated in the area. If one looks closely, one can see a massive hole in the middle of the monster. Seeing that, I know that monster is half dead now. Without waiting further, I pointed my fingers at the monster again. Gravity blast, I uttered. When the magic released from my finger, I felt a wave of exhaustion. I realized I have hit the bottom in mana reserve. Finally, when the spell attack landed, boom! The rest of the monster's body was smothered into pieces. Battle Tower. Floor 100, cleared. Congratulations on reaching the number 1 position in the Outer House ranking. A row of information appeared in front of me. Seeing that, my lips curved into a gentle arc. Swish! Next, I disappeared from the spot and appeared outside. Suddenly, I felt multiple gazes on me. I raised my head and looked at the scene in front of me. In front of me, wizard groups from other halls looked at me with fierce gazes. Vincent! Before I could figure it out, I heard a voice from a distance. A beautiful figure rushed towards me. She is one other than my senior. Senior, what are you doing here? I asked. It's surprising to see her here. Carolina Slate blinked her big eyes and replied, you gave me a big surprise. Take a look at the leaderboard ranking. Hearing that, I turned towards the huge digital screen, where rankings were displayed. Outer House ranking. 1. Taboo Hall 1. Sub-Taboo Hall. 2. Bloodline Hall. 3. Elemental Hall. 4. Weapon Hall. 5. Power Hall. 6. Unique Hall. 7. Beast Hall. 8. Transformation Hall. 9. Mechanical Hall. 10. Research Hall. 11. Medical Hall. The first place is shared by 2 halls. Seeing that, I wasn't surprised. I knew it before entering the tower. The snowstorm wizard from Taboo Hall has set a benchmark. Even she created a record in the inner house ranking. I glanced at other hall rankings before retracting my gaze. Let's go, your actions have created a storm in our campus, Carolina said with a chuckle. A trace of confusion appeared in my eyes. Then we left the battle tower without minding the gazes of everyone. I have anticipated the wizard's reactions before, so I'm not shocked that much. Several minutes later, we reached our hall. After entering inside, I immediately asked her, Senior, what about rewards? I'm hoping to receive some mana stones. On the other hand, Carolina Slate rolled her eyes at him. Vincent's identity is getting popular on the Academy's social media site. But this guy is hellbent on receiving rewards. Ha ha ha. She let out a bell-like laughter before saying, first, check out our social media site. Then I'll talk about the rewards. After saying that, she sat on the sofa. Hearing that, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. What is she talking about? Then I proceed to check the social media site. I quickly logged into my student account to access the page. A couple of seconds later, my eyes stared at the news feed. Then I scrolled down the page to read further. Soon a wry smile appeared on my face. Is gravity magic so popular? I asked out in surprise. The voice was not so loud. It's heard by Carolina. More popular than you think. It's all because of the late ancestor of the Academy, Carolina said with a sigh. Then, without waiting for Vincent to reply, she opened her mouth to say, now everyone has the privilege to witness the gravity magic. So all the eyes will be staring at you hereafter. Her words reached my ears. But I didn't look at her, rather my gaze fell on the battle post. Someone wants to challenge me. When I read the wizard's name, my lips curved into an arc. Stuart from Mechanical Hall, I said in my heart. Is this guy nuts or what? Then I looked at Carolina and said, Senior, someone issued a battle post. Oh, yeah, that guy is from Mechanical Hall. He is known for doing such crazy things. Don't mind him. Just focus on digesting your rewards, she added further. Rewards? I asked back. Carolina smiled and replied, yeah, apart from our hall. There will be a separate reward from the battle tower. Hearing that, a bright smile blossomed on my face. Carolina observed Vincent's reaction with an amusing smile on her face. Then she asked, all right, let's talk about rewards. Right now, the seniors from our hall were busy with their work. So if you need something, you can tell me. I want mana stones, I replied without thinking further. Carolina wasn't surprised by the request. Mana stone is fine. I'll text you after collecting it from the treasury, after saying that she decided to leave. But suddenly her footsteps paused. Vincent, one more thing. Since your information is open to the public right now, no one will cause you trouble face to face. But that doesn't stop people from scheming. So be careful. After saying that, she left the hall. I stood in the same spot and pondered deeply. I'm not a pushover either. If people want to challenge me, they have to think twice before doing it. It's not that I haven't killed anyone before. But here without anyone's backing, my killing intention would lead me to self-seeking death. I have no other choice other than to act normal. But Senior's words have some truth in them. I'm yet to understand the politics and factions in the academy. I don't even know whether everyone is united in Subtaboo Hall. It's better to not roam until the start of the special program. After gaining some clarity, I left the hall and walked toward my dorm. On the way, I realized something was off. When I walked out, I felt someone peeping at me. Is this my imagination? No. I sneered inside. The senior is spot on completely. People are spying on our hall. I sneered inside. Looks like some people can't wait for me to show up. I understand people want to see my reaction to the battle post. Then without showing many expressions on my face, I continued walking towards the dorm. Swish, swish. On the other hand, a 3-red silhouette appeared in front of the Subtaboo Hall. They were none other than wizards from the mechanical hall. Hey, is he the one? One of the wizards pointed his finger at the disappearing silhouette. Hearing that, 2 other wizards nodded their heads. Then one of them looked at the footage where Vincent can be seen talking to Carolina. After confirming their identity, 3 of them disappeared from the place. Right after they left, a few wizards from other halls swept past their gaze at the Subtaboo Hall. Everyone is curious to know whether the fresher is inside the hall. Dorm. After a few minutes, I walked into my room. I closed the door and went to take a long bath. Though the trails in a battle tower are not real. But my mental and mana exhaustion is the real deal. 20 minutes later, I changed into my comfortable clothes and lay down on my bed. There were quite a lot of people who kept an eye on me when I walked out of the Subtaboo Hall. Then they will eventually know about my dorm room. I sighed inwardly. Beep. Suddenly my communication watch lit up with a notification. Seeing that, I opened the notification to read it. Battle Tower Rewards. Name, Vincent Carey. Level, 2 Gravity Wizard. Hall, Subtaboo Hall. House, Outer House. Rank, First. Floor, 100. Rewards, 10,000 battle points. Access to any 2 intermediate wizard knowledge books. When my gaze swept past the following rewards, I couldn't help but gasp. Intermediate wizard books? A burning desire rose in my heart. It's not easy to access that many basic books. But the tower rewarded me with intermediate books. And there is no mention of specific books. I can use it to access intermediate gravity magic books. The ranking is worth it. Right now, I feel satisfied. And the earlier gloom in my heart was completely swept away. But the intermediate knowledge books were too early for me to read them. It's better to complete the basic knowledge first. Then I started to read the book called Introduction to Gravity Power by Mitchell Park. Time passed in a blink of an eye. I continued to understand the power of gravity. Right now, I also wanted to know about my sacred gravity physique. The basic book doesn't have the information about sacred gravity physique. Maybe the intermediate book might have something. A vague curiosity rose in my heart. So far I have yet to understand the power of sacred gravity physique. Then retracting my thoughts, I continued my reading. As time went on, my understanding has gotten deeper. After some time, I closed the book and started to read another book named Basic of Mana Particles. Mechanical Hull. On the other hand, Stuart got the details from his hallmates. The new gravity wizard seems to not care about the battle post issued by him. Stuart's expression turned dark. If it was any other newcomer, he would have gone to his place right now. But gravity wizard is different. Somewhere in his heart, he felt good. At this moment, Stuart doesn't want to face the gravity wizard so soon. The new gravity wizard ranked first in Outer House rankings along with Lara White from Taboo Hall, which shows that Vincent Carey is strong. Since the newcomer is avoiding the battle post, then no one can point a finger at him, which also saves him some face. Then he searched the recent topics on social media sites. As he expected, the news began to circulate right now. Next day, after waking up, I followed my routine. I meditated for 1 hour before getting ready and freshened up completely. 9 a.m. When it's time for breakfast, a frown appeared on my face. I'm sure that at this point many would expect my presence in the dining hall. Beep! A sudden notification sound brought me back to my attention. I looked at the communication watch. Seeing the contact name, I opened the notification to read the message. A few seconds later, my eyebrows eased down a little. The message is from a senior. She is waiting for me in the hall. I think she has collected the mana stones from the treasury. After gaining some clarity, I hurriedly wore my red mage robe and walked out. Right now, there are no other students in this corridor. which gives me a huge surprise. I assumed people would stare at my dorm room. Thank goodness, there is no such thing that has happened. But I don't know that my surprises were temporary. When I stepped out of the dorm building, I see many wizards outside. Some of them were chatting in groups, while a few of them were waiting for someone. But one thing is common, everyone seems to be the outer house students from different halls. My appearance didn't bring that much attention. Then I slowly walked towards the sub-taboo hall. Dorm. Right after that, some of the wizards waiting outside of the dorm have to change the expressions on their faces. Their targeted person has already left the building. Within seconds, the group was reduced by half. Sub-taboo hall. I walked into the hall a few minutes later. Then I see the senior is already waiting for me as usual. I asked, "Senior, have you got the mana stones for me?" Carolina Slate blinked her big eyes and observed her junior for a moment. She sees that Vincent is fine and his eyes were clear as water without any worries. Then she nodded her head before taking out a metal box from her storage bracelet. This silver metal box has 10 mid-grade mana stones in it, saying that she handed the box over. Mid-grade stones, huh? My eyes lit up with surprise, because I know that mid-grade stones were usually in high demand. One mid-grade mana stone can be exchanged for 100 low-grade mana stones. And this box has 10 in it, which saved me from weeks of meditation. Then I carefully placed it in my storage bracelet. Carolina asked, "Are you ready for a special program?" A quick glint flashed in my eyes. Why is she asking that? Then I realized she might know some insider news. I'm even confused why there is no notification so far. "Senior, do you know something?" I asked back. Sigh. Carolina let out a small sigh. The special program class is really strange in my opinion, because the selection criteria for enrollment are even stricter than our academy enrollment. I'm not surprised by her words. Before coming to her, someone filled me in with details. Only top-notch seed wizards are going to join the special program. Seeing no reaction from Vincent, Carolina finds it strange. But she quickly continued further. As I said, it's very hard. Not every hall has students who are going to participate in a special program. So there are many contradicting voices in the academy. Many influential people wanted their descendants to get enrolled in it. But it's a pity, our academy is very clear with selection criteria, as she added further. Hearing that, a trace of confusion appeared on my face. Where is she going with this? I heard one of your old classmates had a meeting with such descendants. A Carolina Slate revealed shocking news like dropping a big rock in calm water. My eyes burst out with a cold glint. Old classmate? Who could be? As far as I know, apart from me, no one got enrolled for the Yellow River Academy. Then who is making trouble here? The next second, I looked at the senior again. Senior, who is it? I asked. Carolina Slate doesn't want to hide it either. She broke out the news by saying, "The wizard is from the Dale family." Dale family in Dragon City? I blurted out in surprise. The Red City is a small barren town. How Dale's family could know people from the capital? I feel things were not that easy. Something is going on. But I quickly recovered. It doesn't matter anyway. Eventually, things would come to light at one point. Then I also realized something. Senior, has any such descendant enrolled in a special program? I quickly saw through her thoughts and asked. Otherwise, there is no need for her to tell me about the Dale family. Carolina Slate looked at Vincent with an appreciative look. Yes, you are right. Not all descendants of powerful wizards are weak and useless. The one who had contact with Dale's family might be strong. But unfortunately, I don't know further details, especially the identity of the person. But it may be another seed candidate from the special class. She said with a sigh. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. That's right, the appearance of the Dale family is not a good sign. If they want to create trouble for me, then it is possible only in a special program class. Next second, I recovered myself and replied, "Thank you, senior, I'll be more careful from now on." Hearing that, Carolina sighed in relief. Then we both head towards the dining hall. After a couple of seconds, the familiar scene repeated. Many gazes swept past me. Thanks to the presence of the senior, no one dares to block our way. Then we smoothly reached the food counter to receive our food. We found a good spot to sit a few minutes later. From time to time, Carolina releases mana breath slightly to unsettle many. You did well by not responding to the battle post, a Carolina said in a low voice. Right now, two of them were alone. No one sat beside them, which gave her privacy to talk about something. I nodded my head in response. Because my entire focus is on eating. The energy stored inside the man's meat is something. I feel energized after taking one small bite. Seeing that her junior is fully engrossed in consuming the food, Carolina stopped talking and continued to eat her food as well. Several minutes later, I started reading the books back in my room. I made up my mind to finish the gravity book first. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 2 hours later, I find it hard to digest further. So I stopped reading and decided to use mana stones for practice. I practice for only 1 hour in the early morning, so I have yet to reach my limit. I placed the mat on the ground and sat cross-legged on it. Then I took out the metal box from the storage bracelet and opened it. Seeing 10 milky bright mana stones, my eyes gleamed with a twinkle. I picked one of them and tried to absorb it. Soon, I began running the gravity arc method. I don't know how much gravity mana particles are contained in it compared to the outside environment. At first, there was no visual happening. Then deep gray energy began to appear a couple of seconds later. I immediately absorbed it in my body and started to circulate according to the mental method. After one circulation, I immediately felt the changes. When the final energy settles down in the mana core, I felt changes in my physique. I immediately thought about the sacred gravity physique, which is in a state of awakening. I realized it must be some kind of improvement. So I continued the meditation. 2 hours later, I opened my eyes and looked at the mid-grade mana stone. The stone lost its previous luster and it looked slightly dim. But still, energy is abundant in it. These mana stones have mixed energy. Any elemental wizards can use them for their practice. But it is impossible with other elemental energies. If someone tries to do it, then it will eventually lead to pollution of their mana core. So I'm not going to do such a stupid thing. But I believe there are still some gravity mana particles left in it. I will test it tomorrow. After gaining some clarity, I decided to check my status panel. System, show my status panel, then I said to the system. Ding! The host's command is recognized. Ding! Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 41%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color, pale orange. Strength, 169. Speed, 170. Stamina, 174. Vitality, 173. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 25%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. My gaze swept past all the attributes. The strength has improved further, including the sacred gravity physique. The only difference is that mana stones save much more time. I placed the mana stone back in a metal box and then I put the box back in my storage bracelet. Beep! The communication watch lit up with a notification. Seeing that, I immediately accessed it. Dear YRA students, the special program class will start in 2 days. Kindly attend the class without marking an absence. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. Finally, the wait is coming to an end. Let's see what is going to happen in the special class. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 2 days later. 9:30 a.m. After having breakfast with the seniors in the dining hall, I left for the special class. The special class is happening in a separate environment similar to the battle tower. This further strengthens my assumption that the classes were not going to be ordinary. I reached the nearest toll booth to enter. Among all the destinations showing on the display screen, there is also one extra option, which shows the special class area. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Then I scanned my ID. After the verification is done, the booth starts to move. A few minutes later, the booth stopped at the destination. Creak! I stepped out of the booth and looked at the scene outside. When my gaze fell on the structure in front of me, I feel goosebumps all over my body. For the past 2 days, apart from reading wizard knowledge books, I went through the Academy's history. There are unexplainable things. For example, what are wizards above level 7 doing? Some information is kept intentionally hidden, but I can infer something from history. It is said that supreme wizard ancestors from our world went to explore the endless starry sky. Then later they disappeared. The information was shocking to the core. But I quickly understood that our academy is one of many forces in the world. So there is no need for the academy to lie. The best example of this is the structure in front of me. From this distance, I get a different view. Like a structure intentionally built on top of the magnificent flying artifact. A look of bewilderment appeared on my face. It is a breathtaking view from here. Swish, swish. I see many people teleported out of nowhere and appeared here all of a sudden. Then my gaze shifted towards them one by one. Everyone then walked towards the magnificent structure. Seeing that, I followed them from behind. Soon we reached closer to the building. But the entrance is closed. Seeing that, no one dares to make any noise here. Because everyone can feel the terrifying breath from inside. Even I feel somewhat uncomfortable. Oh, a middle-aged man is looking at everyone from above. He is a true house member from the Bloodline Hall. Lionheart, level 6 Mad Lion Wizard. Bloodline, Mad Forest Lion. He is the mentor for this special class. Lionheart appears to be a middle-aged man with thick golden eyebrows and eyes. He has long blonde hair which reaches up to his shoulders. His skin color is fair and he is 6 foot tall in height. He wore thick armor inside and a red magic robe on top of it. If anyone looks at him closely, they can see Lionheart is an animal in human form. The bloodline of the 7th Order monster gave him all strength attributes. Time went on. One by one students gathered in front of the gate. When the students count touch 50, swish, Lionheart appeared in front of everyone. Gasp! Students exclaimed in surprise. Next, a small pressure swept past everyone. The atmosphere quieted down suddenly. At the same time, I feel faint danger from him. My instinct tells me not to probe him in any way. This feeling is different. The wizard in front of me is many times stronger than John Myers and the woman Kate Cohen's. A small sweat formed on my forehead. I shifted my gaze toward others. Some were sweating profusely. Suddenly, a beautiful silhouette caught my attention. Lara White, I said in my heart. When did she appear? Feeling my gaze, she suddenly turned towards me. Both eyes met each other. I hurriedly averted my gaze and returned to my usual position. A couple of seconds later, the coercion disappeared. Lionheart gave an appreciative look to everyone. Because none of the wizard students bent downwards. Everyone managed to withstand the pressure in the end. Good. Lionheart then uttered well twice. Then he gave a brief introduction about himself to everyone. Gasp! Surprises filled everyone's faces. True house member, I uttered in disbelief. The handwriting is big. A level 6 wizard came here as a mentor for outer and inner house students. It took a couple of seconds to digest everything. Lionheart waited for everyone to digest the information. Because there is a lot more to talk about. Seeing that everyone recovered better. Listen everyone. The special class is not like other classes. The main objective of this class is to make everyone battle ready, he said. Battle ready? A trace of confusion flashed in everyone's eyes. Lionheart then added further, I know everyone is a little bit confused. So I'll explain clearly. The Academy wants to make everyone an elite-level wizard in their respective field. As for the reason, I'll let you know when the time is right, he said with a smile. At the same time, a surprised glint flashed in my eyes. I can somewhat guess where this is going. There must be a big reason behind this clash between the forces. I held up my chin in contemplation. Suddenly, I feel someone peeping at me. The gaze filled with malicious intent. The next second, my eyes burst out with a cold glint. Who wants me dead so bad? I turned towards the malicious source. I see a bald head looking at me with cold eyes. Seeing that, I raised my eyebrows and etched his face in my mind. Then I retracted my gaze and looked towards the mentor. But my mind is not calm at all. The bald guy? Is he the one who is close to the Dale family? When this thought arises in my mind, I feel it's a lot more real. Lionheart then decided to talk about the curriculum. Alright, let's talk about the course here. I believe everyone is familiar with the battle tower. The course here is not different from the tower. But there is a slight difference. Everyone's performance is evaluated based upon the points gathered from simulation battle. In the simulation, you can not only fight against a monster, but also your fellow wizards. When he uttered those words, everyone exclaimed in surprise. Lionheart smirked. He saw that students were pumped up. Okay, there are 50 of you here. First, we should establish a ranking among you. This special class ranking is different from the battle tower. The more points you secure, the more will be your evaluation. Lionheart then looked at everyone's reaction. He is not used to teaching other wizard students, but he can't deny the orders from above. Cheer! The students let out a loud cheer. Earlier, everyone is afraid that students will be divided based on the battle tower ranking. Fortunately, the special class is different. Here everyone got an equal chance. Instantly the crowd's gaze turned towards Lara White from Taboo Hall. But none of them dared to approach her, because she is a level 3 taboo wizard. A few days ago, she cleared the inner house trial and managed to secure the #1 position. So her strength is known to everyone. Lara White furrowed her eyebrows. She is not afraid of the special class ranking, but her heart is curious about the simulation function. While everyone's gaze is focused on Lara, I decided to use this opportunity to check my status. System, show my status panel, then I said to the system. Ding! The host's command is recognized. Ding! Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 46%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 175. Speed, 176. Stamina, 180. Vitality, 179. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 29%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. My powers almost reached a peak. Just 20 more points. I will reach the breakthrough limit. After taking a glance at the status panel, I feel relieved, because most of the 50 wizard students here are level 3 wizards. Even if you appear to be level 4 wizards, I can probe everyone's details using the system. But I don't want to see mod in front of everyone. When it comes to the actual powerful wizard, apart from me, there is only one person. No one can defeat Lara White. She unanimously became #1 in everyone's mind. Wizard Lion's gaze falls on Lara White for a moment. Before coming here, he was already aware of changes in rankings. There is one more newcomer here, he said in his heart. His gaze scanned everyone and finally stopped on one person. Vincent Carey, a Lionheart's eyes lit up with surprise. More than Lara White, he is more looking forward to a performance of Gravity Wizard. Then he retracted his gaze slowly before returning to his usual self. When the atmosphere becomes quiet, Lionheart doesn't want to waste any more time. It's time. Everyone follow me inside, saying that he lands gently on the ground. Before walking toward the building. Cheer! The wizard students let out a small noise and cheer. Then everyone followed the mentor silently. I decided to walk slowly. There is no need to show off. On the way, I couldn't take my eyes off the design pattern of the building structure. I have never seen such an architectural design before. Most of the sophisticated buildings in our country were pale in front of this beautiful structure. I see no glass except dark metal walls. Suddenly I found someone looking at me. But there is no malicious intent in it. A frown appeared on my face. When I looked back, a strange light flashed in my eyes. Lara White? She noticed my presence. Is she observing me? A vague thought rose in my heart. It's not impossible. Almost everyone from the inner and outer house knows about me. Especially after the exposure of my identity. The popularity has risen rapidly. Then I took back my gaze and followed others. When we entered inside, the mentor leads us toward a square room. The size of the room is nothing less than that of the laboratory. The view became different compared to others. I see many pods arranged side by side. Several monitor screens were connected to each pod. I casually swept past my gaze. The walls are highly fortified. I doubt anyone can infiltrate this high-tech facility. The other wizard students appeared to be in awe. For outer and inner house students, it is not easy to come across such a facility in this academy. On normal days these permissions were not allowed. But certain exceptions have been made for them. Lara White didn't show much expression on her face. But her beautiful round eyes looked at everything in curiosity. Seeing an excited expression from everyone, Lionheart smirked. Because the simulation battle is many times more difficult than Battle Tower. The simulation battle is tailor-made for C candidates. He can't wait to watch the expressions of everyone when the class is over. Ahem. Now everyone will enter these pods one by one, according to their Battle Tower ranking. After entering inside, you have to follow the instructions to start the simulation, Lionheart instructed. Hearing the rank of Battle Tower, everyone's faces turned ugly. At this time, a beautiful silhouette took initiative to walk forward. When she appeared, everyone's eyes instantly fell on her. Good. Lionheart uttered well twice. Before opening the first pod, Lara White then entered inside and the top cover closed automatically. Lionheart then looked at the screen which is connected to the pod. A row of information appeared the next second, which shows the status of Lara White inside the pod. Lionheart nodded his head upon seeing the active status. The next moment, he guided everyone from the inner house to enter one by one. At the same time, I casually stood behind the outer house members. When everyone from the inner house entered the pod, then it was time for our outer house members to enter. I see a mentor looking at me. Then I walked forward. More than 30 people were inner house members. So my face is immediately recognized by everyone. So it is him, one of the seed students exclaimed in surprise. Damn, pretending to be a pig and eating like a tiger, someone cursed at me. But I remained unfazed and walked near the pod. The top cover is opened. Before entering inside, I looked at the mentor who smiled at me in response. Why does he seem so friendly? A doubt rose in my heart. Then I retraced my thoughts and lay down inside the pod chamber. Creak! The top cover closed automatically. Then I see a small display screen on the pod. When I observe closely, I see a row of instructions. Welcome. Visitor número 32. Kindly wear a dark helmet before proceeding. My eyes lit up with surprise. Then my gaze fell on an oval-shaped item placed right next to my head. My mouth twitched. I failed to notice such an obvious thing. I picked up the black helmet and wore it on top of my head. The black helmet is not simple. There were some cables connected to it from the pod. Welcome. Visitor número 32. Kindly enter access codes to begin the verification process. Seeing that, I began to follow the instructions. A few minutes later, my mind went black and appeared inside a black space. The process is similar to the Battle Tower. The battle starts in 15 seconds. Get ready. Seeing the familiar notification, my lips bent slightly. A hint of curiosity flashed in my eyes. Swish! In a blink of an eye, the environment changed completely, and it became a desert area. Right after, a vicious body shot at me. Desert Viper, rare third-order monster. Rare monster, I uttered in surprise. I sidestepped to avoid the monster's attack. The Desert Viper is quick in its movements, but it is not enough to reach me. Hiss! The snake hissed. Seeing that, I raised my eyebrows in surprise. Is it real or a phantom? A doubt rose in my heart, because I get a strange feeling from this monster. The more I think about it, the more it seems true. System, probe the monster's details, I said to the system. Ding! The host's voice is recognized. Ding! A command is initiated. %. Status panel. Name, Desert Viper Phantom. Bloodline, rare. Level, third order. Strength, 209. Vitality, 210. Speed, 212. Stamina, 215. Skill, Deadly Bite, Hard Scale. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. The next second, my gaze fell on the name. Seeing it was just a phantom, I sighed in relief. But another piece of information caught my eye. Bloodline, I muttered to myself. No wonder I felt a strange feeling from it. This simulation function opened my eyes. Compared to monsters in the wilderness, this monster belongs to a different category. A proper rare class bloodline monster. No average outer wizard can hold a candle against it. Such a terrifying bloodline monster. It's more challenging than the Battle Tower. Seeing that monster is going to attack me again. Gravity blast, I uttered. A wisp of gravity force shot at the Desert Viper. In a blink of an eye, the power reached the monster and blasted the monster into pieces. PFFF. The monster's body parts splattered on the ground. The ending of the monster is no different than the Battle Tower. Round 1 cleared. Next round starts in 15 seconds. Seeing that my expectations rose further. Now I feel there are going to be more bloodline monsters. A couple of seconds later. Swish. The environment changes again. This time it is an open vast plain. A most familiar environment. I guessed something. Before I could do anything. Swish. A silhouette brushed past me in a blink of an eye. Giant Gale Wolf, rare third order monster. Seeing the name of the monster, my mouth twitched. No need to guess, this is another bloodline monster. Because its massive body appeared before my eyes. System, probe the monster's details, I said to the system. Ding. The host's voice is recognized. Ding. A command is initiated. Status panel. Name, Giant Gale Wolf Phantom. Bloodline, rare. Level, third order. Strength, 221. Vitality, 215. Speed, 216. Stamina, 218. Skill, Gale Speed, Steel Claws, Gale Hull. A row of information appeared before my eyes. 3 top skills. A giant wolf is a killing machine in this open vast plains. Swish. The massive body disappeared from the spot and rushed towards me with breakneck speed. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. This time it is not easy to evade. The monster's attributes were stronger than mine. Gravity field, I raised my hand to cast the spell. A tremendous pressure appeared the next second. The giant Gale Wolf's movement slowed down before my eyes. I know it's the power of gravity. Click. As the force increases, the crack starts to appear on the monster's body. In a blink of an eye, my whole body burst into pieces like a watermelon. Simulation battle? Right after the death of the bloodline monster, the environment changes again. This time I appeared in the middle of a jungle at night time. My eyes lit up with surprise. It was the first time that I came across such an environment. I wonder what type of monster is going to appear. Especially at nighttime, the monster's activities will be higher. When I'm staring at the pitch-black darkness, I hear a buzzing sound out of nowhere. The sound was so minute. But as the seconds go by, the buzzing sound starts to increase. After realizing the situation, I turned toward the direction where the noise came from. A couple of seconds later, when the noise got closer, I probed the monster's details. Ding. The host's voice is recognized. Ding. The command is initiated. Status panel. Name, Ancient Blood Mosquito Phantom. Bloodline, rare. Level, third order. Strength, 220. Vitality, 219. Speed, 218. Stamina, 221. Skill, Bloodsucker. The monster's information appeared before my eyes. Seeing that it's another rare class bloodline monster, I decided to finish it as soon as possible. Especially the skill Bloodsucker doesn't sound good at all. I can already imagine the countless monsters that died by this skill. Gravity field, I uttered. This time I fully released the gravitational force. When the wave of pressure descended, the mosquito monster squeezed into blood mist. It didn't have any opportunity to make a move and died in the end. PFFF. The process is over in a blink of an eye. I don't why. But I don't like the weird mosquito monster at all. Round 3 cleared. Next round starts in 15 seconds. Outside, Lionheart is calmly observing student status. It's been 10 minutes since the start of the simulation and the students were doing fine. But he knows this is not a real situation. The real road lies ahead. Suddenly, he walked past one of the students' pods and coincidentally his gaze landed on the display screen. Round 3. Lionheart uttered in surprise. He stopped his movements and looked at the display screen again. After confirming nothing wrong with his eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Who is this kid? Cleared 3 rounds in 10 minutes. Such a feat deserved to be high talent. But when he realizes the identity of the person, his eyes filled with surprise. That's right. Gravity is king in the control field, Lionheart muttered to himself. Once the enemy is trapped inside the field, then it will be easier for the wizard to finish it off. Lionheart quickly connected the dots. Vincent Carey? He is good. A quick glint flashes in Lionheart's eyes. Earlier, he hoped to see a good performance from Vincent. After confirming that Vincent is promising, he feels satisfaction. Then he quickly walked up to the first pod. The display screen shows round 2. A frown appeared on Lionheart's face. Lara White is a level 3 wizard, then what's stopping her? When he was lost in thought, the information changed suddenly. Round 2 becomes round 3 now. Seeing that, he sighed in relief. He thought Lara was taking her time to finish off the monster. Otherwise, it is difficult to explain the time difference between Vincent and Lara. Shaking his head, Lionheart continues to monitor everyone. 15 minutes later, one of the screens went off. Right after the pod cover automatically opened and a weapon hall student stepped out of it. Lionheart looked at the timing with a pondering gaze. Then he advised the student to adjust his mentality. The student who exited first became the last in the ranking. So the 50th rank now belongs to the weapon hall. Lionheart feels combat wizards are restricted, especially the weapon users. It is very difficult to kill the monster in one blow unless they are highly trained in combat. Time goes on. 5 minutes later, another student came out. He is from the power hall. Lionheart didn't make any comments. This simulation battle is a test to see the real potential of C candidates. He will make further plans based on this result. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 1 hour later, many students exited the pod after failing to reach the next round. These students from the outer house. Except for a few outer house wizards, the rest of the students who were active in the simulation were inner house members. As time went on, the outer house wizards waiting outside were aware of their ranking. They already find out the identity of the other outer house wizards who were active in the simulation. The identity of Vincent Carey is especially attractive, because he is the strongest wizard in the outer house and ranked first in the battle tower. Slowly Vincent started to become the representative in everyone's heart. But only a few noticed some differences. Vincent is ahead of Lara White in round clearance. Some thought it was a fluke at first. But the status continued to remain the same as time went on. Slowly the discussion starts to spread among outer house wizards. Everyone felt confused but no one dared to ask the mentor. 30 minutes later, the first inner house member exited the pod and he is ranked 32nd in this simulation battle. At this time, everyone from the outer house failed to clear the further rounds except Vincent Carey. Gasp! Seeing the appearance of inner house members, the outer house wizards exclaimed in surprise. Some of them felt their scalp go numb. What are you talking about? This inner house member is also from Weapon Hall. But he is a level 3 wizard compared to Vincent who is level 2. Then why did he come earlier instead of Vincent? The 18 wizards from the outer house were in a state of disbelief and confusion. Only Lionheart has an amusing smile on his face. Even he feels that he underestimated the horror of gravity magic. Worthy to be the power of sub-taboo magic, he said in his heart. But the weapon wizard from the inner house caught the expression of outer wizards. Finally, his gaze fell on a fellow weapon hall member. He immediately inquires about the details from him. After knowing the reason for the strange reactions, his expression turned dark. How could it be? Is there something wrong with the simulation? But when his gaze lands on the mentor, a hint of fear flashed in his eyes. He doesn't dare to go and ask questions. Rather, he decided to wait for fellow weapon hall members. Time passed in a blink of an eye. Slowly, the number of inner house members exiting the pod starts to increase. From the mouth of the 32nd ranked member, everyone starts to be aware of the changes. There are 2 wizards currently leading the position. Vincent Carey, Gravity Level 2 wizard, and Lara White, Snowstorm Level 3 wizard. But both of them were not level 4 wizards. Which is another confusing thing worth to be noticed. Suddenly, another inner house wizard walks out. He is none other bald wizard who looked at Vincent with a cold gaze earlier. He is now ranked 23rd in the ranking. Paul, come here. Suddenly a voice reached his ears. Hearing that bald wizard recognized the voice. The voice came from the direction of Elemental Hall wizards. Then he walked towards his group to join. Paul, congratulations. Seeing him coming, the elemental wizards start to congratulate him. Getting the appreciation of everyone, he feels good. Then Paul starts to inquire about his fellow competitors, especially the rival group from the weapon hall. But soon Paul feels something wrong. Then he immediately learned about the situation. After learning that the person who is leading the ranking is none other than Vincent Carey, his intestines turned green. How could that weasel be? His mind went blank for a moment. He knows that Vincent is a gravity wizard from the sub-taboo hall. But still, the reality shook him to the core. Not even the level 4 wizard seemed to lead the ranking. Then how come the level 2 wizard can do that? Seeing his complicated expression, the elemental wizards near him revealed a smile on their faces. Because he is not the first one with that expression. The people who came earlier were also dumbfounded by the situation. Finally, some of the inner house students weren't able to hold on. The inner house wizards from the Elemental Hall, Power Hall, and Weapon Hall walked toward the mentor. Lionheart, who is leisurely sitting on the chair, noticed their arrival. They weren't able to hold on in the end, he sneered inside. Seeing the actions of inner house wizards, the wizards from the outer house gathered together to witness the scene. None of them dared to ask a mentor earlier. But these inner house wizards are something. Among the group of inner house wizards, Paul is one among them. Finally, a top level 3 wizard from the weapon hall took initiative to ask a question. Mentor Lion? What's wrong with the simulation? When his words fell, the atmosphere quieted down for a moment. Everyone heard his voice crystal clear. Special class. Lionheart raised his head and looked at everyone. His gaze swept past the inner house wizards. Feeling the pressure from his gaze, the wizard stepped back a little in fear. Paul was scared SHT. He was hoping to get some answer, but not at the cost of offending big wizards like the mentor. Seeing the reaction of the mentor, the few outer house wizards also quieted down. Mentor Lion is a bloodline wizard. Everyone with a little bit of knowledge is aware that sometimes the moods of bloodline wizards were influenced by their bloodline. Especially the bloodline power of Mad Forest Lion is known for being savage and bloodthirsty. So the inner wizards don't want to get on his bad side. Lionheart observes the reaction of everyone. Feeling the quiet atmosphere, his eyebrows eased down. Even himself not sure about the changes. Initially, he thought it was a fluke. But looking at Vincent's steady and continuous round clearance, he doesn't know how to explain it clearly. The only thing he can think of is Vincent's gravity magic. The power of gravity is stronger than he thought. It can even rival the wizards across ranks. A quick glint flashed in Lionheart's eyes. He said, "You guys, there is nothing wrong with the simulation. Vincent Carey is a sub-taboo wizard. His gravity magic is a powerful control-type magic. So there is no surprise that he can maintain this pace," he added further. Gasp. After getting confirmation from him, the outer house wizard sucked a cold breath of air. No way. Even though some people guessed it. But still, the mentor's words shocked them even more. Lara White is ranked behind Vincent. Well, doesn't it mean Vincent is stronger than Lara? If that's true, then he can get the #1 position in the inner house ranking at any point in time. Which further shook them to the core. This thought not only arises in outer house wizards' minds, but also inner house wizards' hearts. It took some time for them to realize the truth. Time passed in a blink of an eye. Apart from a few level 4 wizards from the inner house. After 2 hours, all the level 3 inner house wizards exited the pod chamber except Lara White and Vincent Carey. The commotion didn't end there. People still gossip among themselves. The performance of Vincent and Lara is making everyone stunned. Now, everyone can't wait to see the reactions of the level 4 wizard once they exit the pod chamber. From MC's perspective, inside the simulation, round 40, cleared. Next round starts in 15 seconds. Phew, I exhaled in relief. Now the monsters are getting more powerful. Hereafter there will be more peak rank 3rd order monsters. Before coming here, the mentor didn't tell us how many rounds are there in the simulation battle. After a couple of seconds, the environment changed again. I appeared in the middle of the dark valley. Swish! The next moment, I heard the sounds of movements. A massive blood centipede came into view. Okay, I muttered to myself. Like those snakes, the centipede monsters also belong to the ancient species. And it is stronger compared to other average monsters in the wilderness. Seeing the massive body coming toward me, I raised my hand to cast the spell. Gravity push, I uttered. A wisp of magic released from my palm and shot at the centipede monster. In a blink of an eye, the shot reached the monster's body. Compared to the initial rounds, the monsters in successive rounds get stronger. So without probing the centipede, I know this one is a peak 3rd monster. The vile mana released from its body is slightly stronger compared to the previous monster. When gravity force comes in contact with the monster's body, the centipede turned stiff as time stopped. But after a couple of seconds, the gravity force penetrated its bones and thereby destroyed the centipede's organs completely. PFFF. The aftermath of the attack caused the monster to fly back like a broken kite. With that, the monster lost its final breath. Round 41, cleared. Next round starts in 15 seconds. I relaxed my eyebrows. But I don't know the upper limit of these rounds. Time passed in a blink of an eye. I cleared successive rounds and eventually reached round 49. I hope it's the last one. Right after I muttered, the environment changed again. This time I appeared in the middle of a graveyard. What is this? I exclaimed in surprise. I see piled up bones all over this place. This place gives me an eerie vibe. What kind of monster will appear in this place? A vague curiosity rose in my heart. Swish! I see a movement in the ground. The next second my gaze fell on a certain spot. A hand rose from the ground. Seeing that, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. A few seconds later, an entire skeleton rose from the ground. I instantly recognized the identity of the corpse. The evil corpse is usually controlled by evil wizards. But right now I see a dark light in his eye sockets, which means the evil corpse has consciousness. My expression becomes a little dignified. System, probe the target's details, I said to the system. Ding. The host's voice is recognized. Ding. The command is initiated. Status panel. Name, Ancient Evil Corpse Phantom. Faction, Evil. Level 4. Strength, 318. Vitality, 321. Speed, 316. Stamina, 314. Spells, Blood Curse, Blood Poison. A row of information appeared before my eyes. Level 4, I mumbled under my breath. I wasn't surprised by the name. But the spell of the evil corpse should not be underestimated. When I was lost in thoughts, the evil corpse shot at me. I realize it's an evil spell. I quickly moved sideways to evade. I get some ominous feel from the evil corpse. It's not good to delay it anymore. Gravity blast, I uttered. A wisp of gravity power shot at the evil corpse. In a blink of an eye, the gravity power reached the evil corpse. When the gravity power fell on the corpse, several cracks appeared on the white skeleton. In a blink of an eye, the skeleton was torn into several pieces. Round 50, cleared. Next round starts in 15 seconds. After a few seconds, the environment didn't change, but a powerful skeleton soldier appeared. System, probe the target's details, I said to the system. Ding. The host's voice is recognized. Ding. The command is initiated. Status panel. Name, Corpse Knight, Phantom. Faction, Evil. Level 4. Strength, 322. Vitality, 326. Speed, 325. Stamina, 321. Skill, Evil Sword Slash. A row of information appeared before me. Again, a surprising glint flashed in my eyes. The previous one was the corpse of an evil wizard. And now it's a knight. I have seen this only in history books. Seeing the appearance of the phantom, which almost looked real, I couldn't help but be interested in it. Compared to the battle tower, the simulation battle is an eye-opener. The corpse knight has a giant sword in his hands. But there is nothing called spells. The knight has only one skill. Apart from it, the power attributes were high above the evil corpse. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Compared to wizards, it's easy to kill the knight. I raised my hand to cast the spell again. Gravity blast, I uttered. A wisp of gravity magic shot at the corpse knight. When the attack comes in contact with the corpse was destroyed into pieces. Outside, a few minutes ago, a level 4 wizard from the weapon hall walked out of the pod. He directly ranked 7th in this simulation battle. There were 6 wizards ahead of him, including Vincent and Lara. Like everyone else, the level 4 wizard is shocked after knowing the information. But compared to others, his mentality is far better. So he quickly adjusted his state. As time goes on, the remaining level 4 wizards start to exit the pod. But none of them were able to reach the 50th round. After 1 hour, the 5 level 4 wizards were staring at the display screen like everyone else. 1 or 2 level 4 wizards are dissatisfied with the simulation battle. But none of them stupidly questioned Mentor Lion. They already learned that there was nothing wrong with the simulation. Yet the reality is too hard to digest. Damn it, Paul clenched his fist in anger. He felt a sense of weakness in his heart. Looking at the display screen, a trace of fear flashed in his eyes. Fighting across ranks? Even level 4 wizards weren't able to clear the rounds. But these two are still staying in simulation. Paul regretted his actions earlier. The Dale family dares to pit me, he coldly said in his heart. To be honest, he underestimated the gravity wizard. If not for the Dale family's expensive gift, he wouldn't have agreed to mess with Vincent Carey. Now his mind is in a state of mess. He lost the courage to offend Vincent Carey. Vincent Carey is ranked number 1 in the outer house. And now he sees that it is the same with the inner house. This can't go on. I have to tell the family, Paul said in his heart. Special class. After a few minutes, Lara stepped out of the pod chamber. Seeing her appearance, everyone quieted down. Damn, the evil thing was too strange, she said in her heart, but fortunately she managed to kill the evil monster in the end. The challenges faced by everyone were different. But the limit of the simulation was 50 rounds. Lara successfully walked out without losing the rounds. Her beautiful eyebrows frown a little. She immediately noticed some of the wizard's attentions were set on the display screen. Creak! Before she could realize, another person walked out of the pod chamber. But after feeling the man's breath, a trace of surprise flashed in her eyes. It's him. Alara immediately recognized the face of Vincent Carey. At the same time, I'm quite disappointed by the limit. The simulation battle has 50 rounds. In his opinion, this is not enough. While feeling disappointed, I raised my head to look ahead. I raised my eyebrows in surprise. Everyone is looking at me with strange gazes. I see some of their gazes filled with envy, fear, jealousy, and hatred. Suddenly, I realized what this is all about. These people exited the pod chamber before me, so their ranking must be low. Then I noticed someone standing near me. Lara, I said in my heart. So she came before me. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. Good. Mentor Lion uttered well twice. Everything happened beyond his prediction. He takes a glance at the display screen before looking at Vincent. 1. Vincent Carey 50R, Lara White 50R. Though Lara White has cleared 50 rounds, it can't be said the same monster was faced by Vincent Carey. So there is some difference. Ahem, Vincent and Lara. Both of you did well. From now on, the number 1 position in special class will be shared by you, Lion said with a smile. Then he continued to add further, the rankings are not permanent. Anyone can challenge them like in Battle Tower. Am I clear? His gaze scanned everyone. Most importantly, Lion firmly looked at the level 4 wizards. Compared to newcomers here, the level 4 wizards have spent 3 months in this academy, so they know quite a lot compared to the rest of the wizards here. Feeling the gaze of a strong wizard, the 5 level 5 wizards from different halls didn't dare to make a sound. Though they are one step higher than the rest of the wizards, technically the whole 50 wizards here were all freshers. So the level 4 wizards made up their minds to obey the mentor's words. Their dissatisfactions are not at the level of calculating each other. Seeing that, Lionheart takes back his gaze from them. On the other hand, my eyes gleamed with a twinkle. As expected of the bloodline wizard, his lion bloodline power is quite domineering, I said in my heart. But I am also aware that it's not easy for bloodline wizards to break the limit. Mentor Lion have to purify their bloodline to reach higher levels. Comparing myself to others, I feel so fortunate. Suddenly, I noticed Lara was watching me. Is there something? A frown appeared on my face. Maybe she is curious about my strength. Time passed in a blink of an eye. The special class ended after the simulation battle. The commotion did not end there, but soon the news about the special class spread everywhere. The Outer House wizards were shocked. The N0.1 person in the Outer House also gained the N0.1 position in the special class. The news broke their view. They also learned about Lara White and other level 4 wizards, which made them suspect that Vincent is strong in both the outer and inner house. Unlike the outer house, which recognized and convinced that Vincent is in 0.1 existence. But the inner house is different. Especially the senior wizards, who didn't welcome the news at all. The special class only allows fresher and more talented wizards to join. But many wizards in the inner house missed the opportunity to join the special class. They didn't think of themselves as any weaker than special class students. Already there is an undercurrent surging in the academy. Many will make use of this opportunity to cause a stir. A few hours later, I walked back into the sub-taboo hall. No surprise, Senior Carolina is working behind the desk. Seeing me coming, she stopped working and walked towards me. Vincent, what are your real strengths? How can you defeat rank 4 existences? Is the gravity power that horrible? Carolina asked back-to-back questions. Honestly, more than surprised, she was scared. At first, Vincent made noise by gaining the first position in the outer house. But that was within the expectations. Given the reputation of sub-taboo gravity power, the power shown by Vincent is approved by everyone. But this time Vincent's strength is blown away by their mind. Vincent's sub-taboo gravity magic is comparable to taboo magic. How is it possible? This is the question bothering her mind now. What is more shocking is that Vincent is a level 2 wizard and Lara White is a level 3 wizard. She doesn't know how the taboo hall is going to react right now. At the same time, I revealed a small smile on my face. I understand her questions, but I'm not going to expose further strength. At this point, everyone would have realized that I can fight across ranks. Especially in level 2, I can fight against level 4 wizards. I think this will be enough to cement my place in this academy. I'm also curious about the late gravity ancestor of the academy. I wonder how he utilized his spells. After spending a little more time in the hall, I have gone back to the dormitory. Several minutes later, after getting freshened up, I lay down on my bed. From the special classes curriculum, I see there is no need for compulsory classes. The special class is created for training us to become elite-level wizards. As long as there are no further rounds in the simulation battle, I can sit back and relax. Thinking about the simulation battle, evil corpse and night comes to mind. Fighting against the monster is not the same as fighting against evil species. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. Why do I feel the evil thing has something to do with the special class? The more I think about it, the more it feels real. I think it is necessary to gather more knowledge about evil things. After gaining some clarity, I decided to go to the library tomorrow. The following day, I meditated for 3 hours. Feeling the power in my body, I decided to check the system. System, show my status panel, then I said to the system. Ding! The host's command is recognized. Ding! Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level, level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 49%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 178. Speed, 179. Stamina, 183. Vitality, 183. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 29%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. Taboo Hall. Lara White is looking at the information of Vincent Carey. After learning that the person is the same as her, her eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Especially she noticed the information about awakening talent of Vincent, which is not extraordinary but somewhat mediocre by the Academy's standards. Then how can it explain its strength of Vincent? Even for her, it took some calculation to end the evil things. But he is only a level 2 wizard? A strong fighting intent flashed in her eyes. She is a strong taboo wizard, then how can she accept someone from the sub-taboo hall to suppress them? She also understands that once Vincent reaches level 3, he will challenge that battle tower again. Then her in 0.1 position will be snatched by him. While she was contemplating in her hall, the wizards from the other hall pondered how to proceed further. Deep inside the academy, there is a separate space built for the powerhouse of the academy. Everything that happens in the academy didn't go unnoticed under their eyes. Especially the events related to the battle tower are monitored by them. And the information about Vincent is long known by them. TCK. A level 7 powerhouse's mouth twitched. That kid caused another stir again. His voice echoed throughout the area. At the same time, another voice commented, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." This kid clearly shows the demeanor of our gravity ancestor, where another powerhouse let out a creepy laugh. The following day, 10 a.m. After completing my verification, I walked into the library. This time as usual, I directly used the poll booth to enter. The books placed outside are just shown. The real book collection is hidden in space. A few minutes later, I stepped out and stood in the middle of a dark space. I know the row of information will appear after a couple of seconds. When the instructions appeared, I said my purpose. The next second, the scenery changes again, and I appeared inside a massive hall. How is this working? My eyes lit up with surprise, because I see the library with a huge number of collections. The setup outside was a disguise. A quick glint flashes in my eye. So the consciousness which allowed me to enter must be some kind of artifact spirit. But I'm not sure about it. Then shaking my head, I looked ahead. I see many students sitting silently and reading the book. But my gaze fell on the red robe. I quickly realized that not only outer house wizards are here, but also some inner house wizards are present in this library. After taking a glance, I walked forward. Right now, I'm planning to gain knowledge about evil things. On top of that, I want to collect resources, which is a long-term plan of mine. For that, I need to find ways. I arrived in front of the front desk. where I can find a list of books and their location. Looking at the display screen, I type the name. 1. Evil Corpses 2. Night Soldier 3. Treasurelands 4. Common Knowledge. The next second, the list of books appeared. For a moment, I stood in a daze. There are more than 100 books in each category written by different authors. A strange glint flashed in my eyes. Apart from Common Knowledge, every other book cost some battle tower points, which left a bad taste in my mouth. No wonder the mission hall always seems to be crowded. People can't wait to hoard the mission tasks in large numbers. After figuring it out, my mouth twitched. Then I selected a few books in this category after spending some battle tower points. Now I understand the preciousness of battle tower points. Then I walked up to the section on Common Knowledge. From this distance, it appears to be a transparent room. But not everyone can enter inside. Some kind of formation is laid down here. When I entered the Common Area section, I felt a wave of an invisible field scanning me in and out. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Looks like I have been marked earlier. Otherwise, it would take another verification step to enter inside. Then shaking my head, I walked into the room and turned towards several book racks. The book number is already sent to my student account. After knowing that, I walked up to the nearby rack to find the books. A few minutes later, there are 4 books in my hand about the common knowledge of the world. Compared to basic books available in the library, these books have extensive knowledge. Looking at the old book cover on this, I feel it's worth the money. Then picking it up, I sat on the nearby chair and placed the books on the table. Right now, I'm not alone here. There are some wizards present in this particular section. After taking a glance at them, I picked one of the books, and I started to read it. On the other hand, some of the wizards in the library immediately recognized Vincent Carey. These days, information about Vincent Carey is circulating online among student communities. It also became a topic of discussion in many halls. So for some of them, Vincent's face is long known to them. At this time, the inner house wizard from the elemental hall squinted his eyes in Vincent's direction. It's a pity he is not from our elemental hall, he sighed to himself. But I don't know who will challenge him first. His eyes flickered with an interesting glint. He is from the elemental hall. He knows that many inner house wizards are planning to make a move on Vincent, especially the wizards who failed to join the special class. The next second, the wizard posted something in the elemental hall forum. It is about Vincent's current location. Undercurrent surging in the academy. But so far none of them took initiative forward. Because every hall is making some calculations. Because those who made the first move will end up on the bad side of Sub-Taboo Hall. Time passed in a blink of an eye. 2 hours later. While Vincent made up his mind to spend the rest of the day in the library. But some people have other plans. Especially after someone posted about Vincent in the Elemental Hall forum. The news quickly spread. Some even went to the library to see Vincent Carey. Everyone wants to know which hall is going to hit the iron plate. As time went on, the movements of the Elemental Hall attracted the attention of other halls. Unlike the Mission Hall, the sudden influx of people in the library alarmed people. Taboo Hall. This kid, Kate Cohen's, furrowed her beautiful eyebrows. A few minutes ago, the news about Vincent Carey reached her ears. She is also aware of the small movements happening secretly. Right now, the bigwigs from Sub-Taboo Hall were doing an important mission. It will take at least a few weeks for them to come back. Until then, it's hard for Vincent and another kid from the inner house to handle the pressure. But she believes the wizards from upper echelons observing the situation. So nothing worse is going to happen. Beside her, Lara White had long since arrived. But after noticing her teacher's expression, she stopped bothering her. Suddenly, Kate Cohen's retracted her thoughts and looked at Lara. Her gloomy mood immediately swept away. She asked with a smile on her face, "What about the ice mana stones? Are they effective?" A few days ago, she gave ice mana stones to Lara for practice. Lara White smiled and replied, "It's good." Kate Cohen's instantly noticed something in her smile. "What's wrong?" she asked. Has something gone wrong in her practice? Hearing that, Lara White decided to tell. A topic that has been bothering her for the past 2 days. "Mentor, it's about Vincent Carey. His strength rivals me despite being a level 2 wizard," Alara said in a calm tone. "How is this possible?" she added further. But this time her expression reveals some confusion. Kate Cohen's expression becomes serious. "Why haven't I thought about this?" she exclaimed in her heart. She knows Lara had awakened elite-level talent in the ceremony. That's why her speed of practice is fast compared to peers of the same age. And now she is a level 3 wizard. It will be a matter of time before she reaches level 4. maybe in a few weeks. It is one of the reasons she has been helping Lara with the ice mana stones. But when it comes to Vincent, it is different. He is only a mid-level talented wizard, not an elite talent. Then what is the reason for his strength? Is John hiding something? A doubt rose in her heart. But then she quickly realizes something. Vincent and Lara have one difference. Is Vincent's rank lower than that of Lara? The answer is yes. Maybe Vincent's level 2 rank is a result of piled-up resources, not a natural one. For a wizard with the mid-level, it would take a year to get breakthrough. For top-level talent, usually it takes months. But for the elite level and above talented wizards, the breakthrough is like drinking water. The only thing that poses constraints to them, it is that they have to meet certain conditions for a breakthrough. For example, Lara needs abundant pure ice mana for a breakthrough. Apart from ice magic, her magic power contains the power of snow. The breakthrough will be faster in a snow environment. Finally, she concludes that it must be due to the hand of John Myers, making Vincent's breakthrough by relying on piled-up resources. She remembers the earlier conversation with John. She sighed inwardly. It was already a great opportunity for Vincent to reach level 2 this quickly. She doesn't believe Vincent will get another breakthrough anytime soon. Unlike Lara, who is blessed with elite level talent, it's a matter of time before she enters the core house and then an inner house. And when it comes to magic power, she believes that gravity magic indeed deserves the name of sub-taboo power. It can explode with such power in the hands of Vincent. She was amazed for a moment. Lara White wrinkles her eyebrows upon seeing her teacher in a daze again. Mentor, she uttered. Kate Cohen's retracted her thoughts. Sigh, she let out a deep sigh before saying, look, Vincent's real talent is mediocre. Perhaps due to his gravity magic, he had managed to get resources for a level 2 breakthrough. But it won't be possible again. It would take him years to reach the core house. By that time you would have already become an elder-level powerhouse, Kate added further. She feels her beloved student unnecessarily compares herself to Vincent. As time went on, I immersed myself in reading books in a library. So much for that, I didn't go for lunch in the afternoon. The deep knowledge in those books kept me occupied. Slowly I realized the value of potion making. If you can master and gain some skill in this field, then you don't have to go on missions to earn money. Some master potion makers make money by simply getting patents for 1 or 2 important potion liquids. A quick gleam flashed in my eyes. But unfortunately, I'm not talented in this field. Apart from the talent, I don't have any interest in wasting so much time on that. Because learning potion making is done by burning a lot of resources. So it is not easy to get a start in the first place. Then shaking my head, I made up my mind to try other methods. For example, the book Treasure Land contains a lot of information about the ancient era. There are many ruins, battlefields, ancient forests, and forbidden places of the bygone eras in our world. Often people who come out of these locations end up making a lot of money. Thinking about it, a trace of heat appeared in my heart. It was already a miracle to come across one super relic which had upgraded my wizard talent. But I can't say the same thing will happen in the future. I won't fall from the sky very often. I need to go the extra mile to get these miracle resources. I believe apart from some organizations, only these ancient sites have super relics in them. If I can get another super relic, then my speed of practice would be much better. Right now, I guess I firmly cemented my place in the academy. Especially after my record in a battle tower and special class. But unfortunately, most of the seniors from sub-taboo halls were outside. It's better to make other plans after meeting them. Because after reading these books, I gained a better understanding of our world. Especially the interest of various organizations in this world. Some of these ancient sites are located in hostile countries. For example, the Meteor Country, which is close to us. When it comes to the Meteor Country, Elder John is familiar with that country. He had said multiple times that Meteor Country is a paradise for meteor magic wizards. And my gravity magic has a subtle relation to the meteors. My eyes flickered with a quick glint. It's a bit risky to enter a hostile country, especially at my current level. I don't think the academy will allow me to do this. But after some contemplation, I set my eyes on another site. Ancient battlefield. There are many ancient battlefields in our field. Most of them were now forbidden land and some of them were occupied by evil monsters. It is also mentioned in this book that a few ancient battlefields were so dangerous. Even the giant organization refused to go in it. After gaining so much information, I see that the life of regular humans is so fragile. Even the level 5 wizards seem weak in the capital. Only after reaching level 6 or above, I think wizards can safely walk in our big world. Then shaking my head, I began to read other books. Time passed in a blink of an eye. Later evening, I left the library and headed straight toward the sub-taboo hall. While I was walking past one of the rooms, I heard loud conversations. All of a sudden, I paused my movement and perked up my ears. The room's door is slightly opened, so people's sounds could be heard from outside. After a few minutes, a cold glint burst out from my eyes. These people are talking about me, I mumbled under my breath. Then after taking a glance at the room, I walked forward. Their specific conversation caught my attention. How come a mediocre talented wizard can reach level 2 rank within a year? A trace of apprehension appeared in my eyes. Looks like I missed something on my part. I had never expected these people to dig up my information so quickly. And they are right, my talent rank will raise a lot of eyebrows. It will pique wizards' curiosity. I wouldn't have stopped if they didn't mention my name in their conversation. Right now, it's necessary to find some solution to it. Then shortly after, I reached the sub-taboo hall. After walking into the hall, I didn't find Senior. So I immediately contacted her. A few minutes later, a beautiful silhouette walked into the room. Senior, I said. Carolina blinked her beautiful eyes. She doesn't know what to say looking at her junior. Right now, Vincent's movements were monitored by many. Even his visit to the library was posted on the Academy's social media site. It is easy to say that people are staring at him. Then she asked, "You need something?" "I would like to hide my mana breath. Is there any way to do it?" I replied. Carolina's eyes flickered with a slight glint. She feels her earlier predictions were coming true. People are targeting him. Power struggles in the academies were common. It can't be helped. She sighed inwardly. For a moment, the atmosphere quieted down. Some mysterious spells in the academy can hide the wizard's breath. Apart from that, there are cloaks and artifacts for similar purposes. But all of these items were not easy to get. Suddenly, an idea comes to her mind. Vincent, our senior, will arrive in a few days. Maybe he can help you, Carolina said with a smile. Hearing that, I frowned. But I nodded in response. Carolina saw through his thoughts. She smiled and said, "Don't worry. We have a few members in our hall. So everyone here is united. And that senior is also friendly. You will know when you meet him." Seeing her expression, I agreed. This situation provides me with a better opportunity to know about the seniors. In a few days, it will be clear whether the sub-taboo hall is united or not. After leaving the hall, I went to my dorm. Days passed in a blink of an eye. For the past 3 days, apart from visiting a library, I didn't go to other areas of the academy. I practiced the meditation method in my dorm for the rest of the time. But the activities of people around me didn't stop at all. They have been posting my movements on the site constantly. I don't know what these people are up to. But one good thing though, my attributes were slowly increasing. System, show my status panel, then I said to the system. Ding! The host's command is recognized. Ding! Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 55%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 187. Speed, 188. Stamina, 183. Vitality, 192. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 38%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. Looking at the attributes, a bright smile appeared on my face. All of my attributes went past 180. But my smile disappeared when I heard important news this morning. Lara White is now a level 4 wizard. The news came so fast that I didn't believe it at first. But looking at my status and comparing it to Lara's, I believe her talent is higher than mine. For a while, I didn't know how to react. My top talent is not enough. which further solidified my belief in collecting super relics. Now the little happiness in my heart was immediately swept away. Lara's progress is going to be smoother. But I have to work harder to collect resources to improve my talent. I feel a lot of eyes staring at me in the dark. Even my current progression will raise a lot of eyebrows. At this time, Kate Cohen's met John Myers. She inquired about Vincent's mediocre talent. John Myers wasn't surprised by her question. In his opinion, it must be due to those meteor rocks from the meteor country, which caused some changes in Vincent. But he is not going to reveal it to her. He hurriedly shifted the topic. I hope the factions were sensible, he said in a cold tone. Hearing that, Kate raised her eyebrows. The atmosphere quieted down for a moment. The factions were none other than the halls in their mouth. Unlike the outer house and inner house, the higher houses are quite divided and self-centered. The rise of Vincent is good for the academy, but for some factions it would affect their interest. So it's inevitable some halls will cause hurdles for Vincent Carey. 10 a.m. Right after having breakfast, I got a message from my senior sister. She wanted my presence in Subtaboo in 10 minutes. My eyes flickered with a slight glint. I vaguely guessed what this is for. Then I hurriedly walked towards the Subtaboo hall. A few minutes later, when I entered the hall, I see a middle-aged man sitting opposite Carolina. A sudden realization dawned upon me. He is another senior from the same hall. The middle-aged man appeared to be in his 30s. Unlike the Academy's red robe, he is dressed in a normal shirt and pants with a black robe on top of it. If not for the Academy's logo printed on the robe, I would have mistaken him for someone else. He looked tall and sturdy with a muscular body. His skin color is tanned. He is probably 6 foot tall in height. While I'm scrutinizing him, the person is also observing me. I took back my gaze seconds later. It would be rude if I continued to stare at him. Cough. Carolina coughed twice to bring back attention. Hearing that, I turned towards her. Vincent, he is our senior brother. One of the 3 true house members in our hall, a Carolina slate said. Ha ha ha. The middle-aged man let out a laugh. Finally, I get to meet you, Vincent Carey. Some time ago, I heard the news about you from John. Our hall is lucky to have another Subtaboo wizard. Especially a gravity wizard like you is said to be powerful in Subtaboo category, he said with a smile. At the same time, my eyes lit up with surprise. He is 1 rank higher than Elder John. I'm slowly digesting the facts. Elder John and Kate Cohen's are just level 5 wizards. But the person in front of me is a true house member. Oh yes. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Gilbert Reese, level 6 Shock Force wizard. A true house member, Gilbert introduced himself in a calm tone. But each piece of information fell like a thunderclap in my ears. Shock Force? My heart set off storms. The shock force is similar to the gravitational force. Both are sub-element forces of nature. I heard shock force wizards have harder roads compared to me. But I don't know what the exact difficulties are other than a lack of mental methods. But I have to say the senior is extremely powerful. I can't imagine the destruction of level 6 shock force magic. A trace of apprehension appeared in my eyes. But the next second it immediately swept away. I recovered myself in an instant. A thoughtful look appeared on Gilbert's face. He said, Carolina told me about your request. I have an old magic cloak with me that can hide your mana breath. It can conceal your details from the prying eyes of a level 5 wizard. But level 6 and above the magic cloak won't work, he added further. Hearing that, a surprising glint flashed in my eyes. Magic cloak? It sounds good. But I mostly want to hide my details from the old powerhouses in the academy. I'm yet to come up with a suitable answer for my increase in wizard levels. Thinking about the future hurdles, I sighed inwardly. Carolina sees Vincent's expression is a little down. Is he not satisfied with the magic cloak? She cried in her heart. It's already a big favor for Vincent to get help from a true house member. When it comes to other halls, it's not easy for the outer house and inner house wizards to see a core house member. But here in Subtaboo Hall is different. Apart from the elder level powerhouse, we can easily meet and discuss with true house members. Gilbert also noticed Vincent's expression. He asked, Are you not satisfied with the magic cloak? Hearing that, I retracted my thoughts and realized my foolishness. Then, without changing my expression, I replied, No, I'm just thinking about those media posts. Media post? Gilbert uttered in confusion. But Carolina immediately realized Vincent is talking about those smearing him viciously on an online site. She then quickly explained ins and outs to Senior Gilbert. A quick glint flashes in Gilbert's eyes a few minutes later. He is considered to be part of the upper echelon of the academy. As a level 6 wizard, he has access to crucial information. He is also no stranger to politics between different halls, so it is normal for Vincent's appearance to unsettle them. Fortunately, Vincent is a newcomer. Some halls can't act directly and target an outer house member. Everything is safe inside the academy, but it can't be said the same when Vincent goes outside for a mission. Should I inform elder house members? A thought rose in Gilbert's heart, but he thinks things are not that simple. It's been a week, but Vincent is doing fine, which shows that different halls were restraining themselves. He had never heard of this online abuse before. It also means that someone is deliberately doing it to lure Vincent out. If Vincent responds to their actions, then it will give a good opportunity for others to target him. And it shows that someone from the higher-ups is already aware of Vincent and observing many of Hals's actions. After gaining some clarity, he revealed a small smile on his face. He finally understood why various halls were restraining themselves. It's because Vincent is a gravity wizard. Apart from the late gravity ancestor, the academy has seen no other gravity wizards over centuries, so that the old powerhouses may treat Vincent as a successor for the late gravity ancestor. But the next second, he shook his head in denial. Gilbert realizes he is thinking too much. Vincent is still an outer house member. It is still too early to say that. Vincent should get into the inner house as soon as possible, because there are hundreds of wizards in the outer house. Only after getting an inner house, you are considered to be part of the academy in the true sense. Vincent, for now, don't take any mission. Just try to become an inner house member as soon as possible, he said in a solemn tone. He doesn't want any mishap to happen to Vincent before becoming an inner house member. After saying that, he immediately left the hall. It's rare for level 6 wizards to sit and talk with juniors for a minute. Carolina is glad that the senior came here after her request. At the same time, the senior's words echoed in my ears. He insisted on becoming an inner house member before going out for the mission. Is there any meaning behind it? A trace of apprehension appeared in my eyes. Well, I'm close to touching the limit. So in a few days, I will get the breakthrough opportunity. Then I placed the magic cloak in my storage bracelet before thanking my senior sister for her help. Like she said earlier, the true house senior didn't seem too rude and arrogant. I know the impact of a level 6 wizard powerhouse back home. They are considered to be unimaginable existences. But here I had a casual conversation with him. But the next second, I remembered the shock magic. Sister, what about the shock magic? Is that magic powerful? I asked out of curiosity. Caroline's eyes shone with bright light. She nodded her head in excitement before replying, a few months ago, a level 7 power wizard was killed by Senior Gilbert. My heart skips a beat. Level 7? That to a power-type wizard. My heart feels turbulent. I know the working of shock force magic. To think shock force can cause damage while fighting across ranks. It shows the horror of magic. Gilbert is one of the 3 true house members in our hall. Then what about the other 2? Maybe I should check it out later. After saying goodbye to her, I walked back to my room. The special class will start in 2 hours. So I decided to meditate in the meantime. 2 hours later, I used the same toll booth to reach the special class. When the toll booth stopped, I walked out calmly. I see many students coming and rushing toward the building. Then without waiting further, I walked towards the gate. As time goes on, everyone is gathering in front of the metal gate like in the first class. Mentor Lion will appear after the last person. On the other hand, I feel a tingling sensation all over my body. The wizard's gazes make me uncomfortable, because many of their gazes were filled with envy and hatred. I casually glanced in one direction where most of the gazes were from. Elemental Hall, I mumbled under my breath. Swish! Suddenly a beautiful silhouette appeared. Seeing her, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. Level 4? Mana coming from her is stronger this time. Coincidentally, she turned toward me and our gazes met again. My eyes lit up with surprise. Because I see a trace of indifference in her eyes, like she doesn't care. Last time her gazes were filled with curiosity and scrutiny. What happened now? Is it because of level 4 strength that she feels superior now? My mouth curved into a gentle arc. Special class. Right after looking at her, I retracted my gaze. Don't know what happened, but it doesn't concern me. Swish! All of a sudden, Mentor Lion appeared out of nowhere. He is looking at a student with an amusing smile on his face. Well, today, all of you are going to participate in a virtual battlefield. The virtual battlefield is different from the previous assessment. The difficulties were many times higher. But if you perform well, then you have a good chance to improve your special class rank, Mentor Lion said with a smile. Gasp! Right after that, everyone gasped. All of them are frustrated after the last assessment. Especially the 5 level 4 wizards from different halls. They don't like to be overtaken by the outer house wizard. So this virtual battlefield assessment rekindled hope in their heart. Lion was satisfied by seeing everyone's reaction. This is what he wants to see. So that the talented seeds never give up. A fighting intent rose in Lara White's heart. Now she feels this is the best opportunity to show the difference between real talent and mediocre talent. Now she is a level 4 wizard, it's difficult for Vincent to keep the same pace as her. At the same, seeing the reactions of these people. I don't know what to say. Because the ending will be no different from the previous assessment. I'll win this assessment as well. My lips bent slightly and expectations rose in my heart. Last time, my knowledge was widened after fighting evil corpses and knights. This time I'm curious to know. What is the same thing? In the next second, the mentor Lion leads everyone toward the pod chamber. The process is similar but the content of the assessment is different this time. After arriving in the room, Lion turned towards Vincent Carey. He said, Vincent, you are number 1 in class. So you should be entering first. After saying that, he pointed his finger at the first pod chamber. Seeing that everyone's eyes flickered with envy and hatred. Only Lara White remained indifferent among those people. Some even openly supported Lara White against Vincent Carey. Because everyone knows about her recent breakthrough. If she wins, it's much more face-saving for the inner house. So nobody wants Vincent Carey to perform well in this assessment. After hearing the mentor's words, I gladly took initiative to enter the pod chamber. I can't imagine their reactions when I finished the assessment before everyone. Paul from the Elemental Hall is looking at the scene without any expression on his face. He had already conveyed to his family about Vincent Carey. But the family is divided on this issue. The Dale family already forged hatred with Vincent Carey. Nobody is sure whether he will retaliate or not. So the family is maintaining a wait-and-watch attitude now. But he is different no matter what, he won't cross paths with Vincent Carey. Lion instructed everyone to enter the pod chamber according to special class ranks. At the same time, laying down in the pod chamber, I swiftly connected the helmet and followed the instructions to enter the virtual battlefield. Swish! I appeared in an open vast plain. Seeing that, my eyes gleamed with a twinkle. What kind of assessment is this? I mumbled under my breath. First order monster tide. I heard a mechanical instruction. Right after that, a look of realization dawned upon me. This assessment is different from the previous one. Right now it's 1 versus many. My mouth curved into an arc. I see a wave of monsters rushing toward me. This challenge is interesting. I want to see how many monsters are in this round. Swish! Seeing the monsters rushing towards me, I disappeared from the spot and took initiative to attack them. In a blink of an eye, I arrived before the monsters. Gravity failed, I uttered. The next second, a tremendous gravitational force appears all of a sudden. PFFF. Monsters within the field turned into blood mist the next second. In a blink of an eye, more than 100 monsters were wiped out completely. A few seconds later, Round 1 cleared. Round 2 starts in 60 seconds. Whether to proceed or not, say, Y/N. Again, the mechanical instruction came. This time there is 1 minute to catch a breath. Shaking my head, I waited for the seconds to be over. 1 minute later. Second order monster tide. The environment didn't change except for the order of the monsters. The monster tide consists of an army of different monsters. I didn't bother to look at first. But now I see the monster tide is not simple. It's like waging a war. The monster doesn't seem to be attacking blindly either. My eyes flickered with a slight glint. Gravity failed, I uttered. All the monsters turned stiff under the gravitational force. The monsters turned into blood mist in a blink of an eye. I cast the spells again to eliminate the remaining monsters. This time more than 200 second order monsters died within seconds. Round 2, cleared. Round 3 starts in 60 seconds. Whether to proceed or not, say, Y/N. Outside, Lion is monitoring the screen as usual, but he is more interested in seeing Vincent Carey's progress. Round 1 and Round 2 were cleared in a couple of seconds. The speed is no less than that of Lara White, which shows similar progress on the display screen. Since Lara is now a level 4 wizard, Lion feels that Vincent will face a tough challenge to maintain the status quo. So he would like to see what is the bottom line of that kid. He believes Vincent will stop at Round 3. If there is 1 versus another, then there will be no problem for Vincent to fight across the ranks. But the current assessment is different. Even for a sub-taboo wizard, it is difficult to fight across ranks against many monsters. He knows there is so much outside noise surrounding that kid. But the special training has its purpose. And the management won't sit and watch if anyone dares to disturb the seed wizards. Vincent's top rank will provide him with indirect protection. So this assessment is very important to him. Several minutes later, creak. Many wizards exited the pod chamber. Most of them were eliminated in the first round itself due to their lower strength. Minter Lion looked at them with an indifferent gaze. He had expected them to stick much longer. But unfortunately, many of these kids don't have prior battle experience. At the same time, inside the virtual battlefield, Third Order Monster Tide. Looking at the sea of monsters coming towards her, Lara White raised her hand to cast the spell. Ice Tornado, she uttered. The next second, a wisp of magic power released from her finger. In a couple of seconds, the small wisp of magic transforms into a terrible tornado, which then smashes the sea of monsters within seconds. The tornado not only destroyed the monster's tide but also caused damage to the landscape. But all of this happened within a minute. Her one spell was enough to take care of the monster's tide. She thinks Vincent's gravity won't be able to do this. She is aware of gravity magic's advantages and disadvantages. But her destruction range is wider than gravity magic. Suddenly, a bright smile blossomed on her face. With this speed, she will get first place in this assessment. Inside. Round 3 cleared. Round 4 starts in 60 seconds. Whether to proceed or not, say, Y/N. After cleaning the monsters, I stood cross-armed. With each round, not only the order of the monsters was increasing but also their number. I remember I used to run away from second-order monsters in the wilderness a year ago. But here I'm slaughtering these monsters like killing chickens and pigs. Fourth-order monster tide. Swish. After a minute, a new monster's tide appeared. Seeing that, a quick glint flashed in my eyes. Right now everyone knows that I'm a level 2 wizard and I can fight across 2 ranks above me. But this assessment will further expose my strength. Senior Gilbert has warned me not to go outside before becoming the inner house wizard. Various thoughts appeared in my mind. I will reach level 3 in a few days. So clearing this round won't make much noise later. A firm determination appeared in my eyes. As for round 5, I shook my head. Round 5 is comparable to core wizards. An inner house wizard clearing a round 5 won't attract much attention. But for a level 2 wizard to clear round 5, it will alarm the entire academy. I calmed down my impulse. I want to go all out. Yet I know it's better to be low-key for a while. I'm yet to understand the dangers inside the academy. So it is wise to expose strength after becoming an inner house member. The next second, I raised my hand to cast spells. A couple of seconds later, I see the entire battlefield is filled with broken corpses. Round 4, cleared. Round 5 starts in 60 seconds. Whether to proceed or not, say, Y/N. I said, yes. The next second, I exited the virtual battlefield. Special class. Gasp. Seeing me coming out of the pod chamber, people exclaimed in disbelief. But in response, I revealed a small smile on my face. Because everyone is staring at the display screen connected to my pod, which shows round 4 has been cleared. Swish. A burly silhouette appeared in front of me in the blink of an eye. Minter Lion, I said. Wizard Lion looked at Vincent with an appreciative gaze. He underestimated Vincent's capability again. He thought round 3 would be Vincent's limit. But Vincent miraculously succeeded in clearing round 4 as well. His eyes flickered with a complicated glint. Vincent, you did well at your level. But if you want to keep performing well, you need to break through and reach further levels, Lion said in a calm tone. Saying that, his gaze fell on Lara's status screen, where it shows round 4 has been cleared. But there is no sign of her leaving the pod chamber. My gaze followed his direction. When I see that Lara has cleared round 4, a look of understanding dawned upon me. She is now fighting against 5th order monsters. My mouth twitched. I wasn't that surprised to see this result. Her breakthrough has raised her leapfrog fighting ability. On top of it, her snowstorm magic is even more powerful now. A quick glint flashed in my eyes. I looked around and saw the dazed expression of a wizard. Right now everyone is waiting for Lara's result. As a result, my performance has become a little pale in front of her. In my case, it's good for me. They don't suspect me hereafter. When it comes to assessment, I can try this assessment after reaching level 3 wizard. After a couple of seconds, the 5 level 4 wizards exited the pod chamber one by one. I retracted my glance after taking one glance at them. A few minutes later, Lara White steps out of the pod chamber. Cheer! Seeing her, everyone let out a joyful cheer. Finally, the inner house wizard got the first position. Someone from the crowd said, "Ah, ah, ah. What a sub-taboo wizard. He lost when it came to competing against the inner house wizard." Some of the wizards started to sneer. It's a good opportunity to bring down Vincent's momentum. For the past several days, Vincent has been in a good spotlight, which caused quite a displeasure in many halls. Now, using this opportunity, the unkind wizard smeared against Vincent. Meanwhile, Lara White's eyes shone with bright light. But soon her eyes recovered back to normal, as clear as water. Vincent's performance was within her expectations. But still, clearing round 3 without defeat is a huge feat, which shows that she underestimated the gravity magic. She remembers the teacher's words. Vincent will be left behind if he fails to break through. Mediocre talent? She sighed inwardly. Then she walked back to her usual position. Lionheart stood in front of the wizards. With Lara White's exit, the virtual battlefield assessment comes to an end. The next moment, his gaze swept past everyone. He is satisfied with the overall performance of the wizards, because everyone's performance was well within their expectations. There are some standout performances, like Vincent's performance. Looking at Lara, a hint of relief flashes in Lion's eyes. At least someone here is capable of fighting against core-level powerhouses. Such a performance reminds us of the importance of special class training. Lara, you did well. You have cleared round 5 smoothly, which shows that you can now fight against core house wizards. Keep on practicing well, a lion praised Lara. Gasp! Right after that, some wizards gasped. Now they are starting to realize the meaning behind Lion's words. Some of the third-order monsters can easily kill the average level 3 wizard, which is the same case with 4th and 5th order monsters. Lara's record now shows that she can defeat the average level 5 wizard now, which is a terrible thing. Some can't wait to post their mentor Lion's statement on social media sites. On the other hand, Lara White simply nodded her head in response to the praise. Meanwhile, I looked at the scene happening in front of me with a calm mind. I also heard the smearing from the crowd. Some hopeless bastards were making use of this opportunity. Shaking my head, I remained indifferent. There is no point in retaliation. If it was done by someone influential, I can mark him for now and make him disappear later. Like that one close to the Dale family. A quick glint flashes in my eyes. Strangely, this guy didn't act against me so far. Is it a change of heart? My mouth curved into an arc. Right after, Mentor Lion announced the special class ranks. This time Lara succeeded in getting the first position, where my name is pushed down towards the second position. With the announcement of the last rank, the special class came to an end. Right after that, everyone started to leave. Without wasting any more time, I exited the class and walked back toward my room. There is still 1 hour left in my day-to-day practice. Meanwhile, someone immediately posted about the virtual battlefield assessment on the Academy's social media site. The person who posted this highlighted Mentor Lion's comment on Lara White's leapfrog fighting ability. Many wizards wanted to know about the special class, so if there is any news related to it, it will quickly spread like wildfire. Like today's post, within a few minutes, the post took the Academy by storm. The reason is there are many rare and powerful magic users in the Academy, and many can fight across ranks. But the wizards in the special class are newcomers. Technically, they are school kids under many veteran wizards' perspectives. So Lara White's news is a huge blow to them. She is studying in the Academy for less than 3 months. Yet she can display such a performance. But the taboo labeling on her quickly calmed down the storms. Whereas the news about Vincent Carey died down suddenly. Some unkind people talked about him. But Lara's momentum is so large that many paid no attention to Vincent. Meanwhile, Sub-Taboo Hall. Harumph wants a junior breakthrough to reach level 3. He will shock the Academy again, a Carolina said with a cold snort in her heart. But still she was up by the fact that Vincent can clear 4th order monster tide despite being a level 2 wizard. In her opinion, this feat is no less shocking than Lara White. She imagines her deadly vine is capable of restraining 1 or 2 monsters at the same time. But when it comes to the entire monster tide, it's impossible. But when it comes to fighting against one, she can fight across ranks and kill average level 5 wizards at her current level. She is retrospecting. The same thing is happening in many halls. Many veteran wizards are starting to realize that it will be a matter of time before they are left behind. So there is no point in staying idle. 1 hour later, the mission hall is overcrowded with people. The aftermath of the special class events was quickly reflected in management. Many old veteran wizards were picking up the task again to go outside. Staying in the academy only torments them further. Nobody wants to see newcomers overtaking the veteran wizards. But one thing is clear, the potential shown by seed wizards was clear. Now the doubts about the special class were quickly swept away in many people's hearts. The special class is the only place where newcomers can gauge their potential and practice according to it. Meanwhile, that's it, wizards who were staring at Vincent's information were quite surprised. But soon they realized it was normal. Lara White is from Taboo Hall and Vincent is from Sub-Taboo Hall. So it is normal for taboo magic to surpass sub-taboo magic. It quickly stopped their questioning heart. On the other hand, Kate Cohen's eases down her eyebrows. Her assumption about Vincent's mediocre talent turned out to be true. She sees no abnormal behavior. The only thing keeping him up is Vincent's gravity magic. Meanwhile, dorm. Unaware of the outside noise, I spent my time in meditation. 1 hour later, feeling the beaming power in my body. System, show my status panel, I said to the system. Ding. The host's command is recognized. Ding. Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level, level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 58%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 190. Speed, 191. Stamina, 187. Vitality, 195. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 43%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, magic cloak, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. Dragon City. The Dale family who is after Vincent's life came to know about the recent news. Vincent's sudden rise in reputation caught them off guard. Now that they know Vincent would be protected by high-rank wizards, people from the Dale family immediately left the capital city. Whereas Paul's family sighed in relief. They narrowly avoided offending the sub-taboo wizard. But Paul doesn't know that Vincent was already aware of him. Weapon Palace. Somewhere in the corner of the Dragon City, a blessed land is shielded from 4 sides. In the middle of the blessed land, a huge palace is sitting majestically. The place is a blessed land for weapon-type wizards. So the place is formally called Weapon Palace. Sword Hall. Right now in one of the important weapon halls, a fight is currently going on. You people from the water vein are extremely weak, the sword wizard from the fire vein said with joyful laughter. The next second, a terrible heat blast shot at the opposite sword wizard in a blink of an eye. Boom! A heavily injured silhouette fell from the platform the next second. Goo! 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 Seeing that the sword wizard from the fire vein grinned heavily. His gaze swept past the audience's next second, and everyone retreated in fear. No one dares to confront him. He is very domineering. Listen up everyone, I want to be the young leader of Sword Hall. I don't care who you are. If you want to oppose me, then you are all welcome to challenge me on the sword platform. After saying that, he immediately left the platform. Meanwhile, seeing the disappearing back of him, an elder from the Sword Hall nodded his head in satisfaction. Well, this year's talent is much better than the past several years. Hope we will get back our face after defeating the Yellow River Academy, he mumbled under his breath. Recalling memories of defeat left a bad taste in his mouth. From MC's perspective, days passed. After the virtual battlefield assessment, I entirely focused my attention on meditation and getting a breakthrough as soon as possible. And I spent the rest of the days reading the basic wizard books. The process was monotonous, but it was extremely important for my growth. Since I immersed myself in practice, I was unaffected by the outside noise. Apart from feeling the usual scrutinizing gazes in the dining hall, no one came forward to mess with me directly. But I feel it is largely thanks to Senior Gilbert. His visit to the sub-taboo hall didn't go unnoticed. Many halls were aware of it also. So I guess his presence also caused some deterrence to unkind eyes. A few weeks later, Dorm. After practicing for 1 hour, I touched the bottleneck. I opened my eyes right after that feeling. Finally, it's time for a breakthrough, I muttered to myself. System, show my status panel, I said to the system. Ding. The host's command is recognized. Ding. Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level, level 2 limiter. 6 months remain to level up. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.2, 99%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 200. Speed, 200. Stamina, 200. Vitality, 200. Intelligence, LVL.2, 50. Soul power, LVL.2, 50. Constitution LVL.2, 50. Sacred gravity physique, 99%. Mental power, LVL.2, 50. Spells 4. 1. Gravity field 2. Gravity push 3. Gravity pull 4. Gravity blast. Slots filled 4. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, magic cloak, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. Immediately my gaze swept past every day. A week ago my attributes touched the limit. But I got delayed by the mana core formation. Only after the mana core is condensed further, I can step into the next rank. Now that both mana core and physique touch the limit, I know it's time for a breakthrough. I took a deep breath and exhaled. Then I closed my eyes and started to run the gravity arc method. As time went on, I slowly started to absorb the gray mana particles in my body and started to circulate them according to the mental method. After circulation, the energy settles down in my sacred mana core. I repeated the process again and again until the mana core starts to show some changes. When the mana core starts to show some signs, I held mana stones in my palm to absorb more energy. This time the mana core condensed further due to the absorption of pure gravity particles from mana stones. Time passed. The mana core is becoming more purified. And slowly the purified mana core starts to take a pebble shape. Not only is it changing shape but also in size. Compared to previously, it has become slightly bigger. At one point, the changes came to an end. Click. Limits were broken the next second. And my entire body starts to undergo some changes. Feeling that, I put my mind in relaxation and began to observe the changes. Most of the changes were related to sacred gravity physique. I feel extraordinary power hiding in my bones and flesh. My eyes flash with ecstasy. Then I continued to notice the changes. The changes in the sacred mana core bring me more surprise. The golden patterns became more visible in mana walls. The golden colors were deepened further. This entire golden mana space makes gravity power nobler. I don't know what the changes it is going to bring. I'm looking forward to it. 1 hour later, I felt the changes were completed and stopped. Then I opened my eyes and decided to view the status panel. System, show my status panel, I said to the system. Ding. The host's command is recognized. Ding. Level up system, 1.1 is ready. Status panel. Host's name, Vincent Carey. Magic power, gravity. Mage level, level 3 limiter. Mental method, gravity arc, running. Grade, earth. Running mode, automatic. Rate of absorption, 82%. Gravity core status, LVL.3, 1%. Progressing. Sacred core, gravity core. Mana power, 700. Mana capacity, 700. Talent, top bottom, upgradable. Color pale orange. Strength, 250. Speed, 250. Stamina, 250. Vitality, 250. Intelligence, LVL.3, 25. Soul power, LVL.3, 25. Mental power, LVL.3, 25. Constitution LVL.3, 25. Sacred gravity physique, LVL.2, 1%. Spell models 4. 1. Gravity field, LVL.3. 2. Gravity push, LVL.3. 3. Gravity pull, LVL.3. 4. Gravity blast, LVL.3. Slots available 5. Title, Lord of the Gregor Mansion. Storage space items, magic cloak, the Gregor Mansion, magic artifact, herbs, potions and spell books, etc. A wide status panel appeared in front of my eyes. When my gaze swept past the entire status, my mouth curved into an arc. The next moment, I let out joyful laughter. Virgula. More than becoming a level 3 wizard. The sacred gravity physique brought me a huge surprise. My body aptitude has risen drastically after 1% of awakening. It has done half of the work of wizard talent. The physique attributes rose by half. When it comes to wizard talent, unfortunately, there is not much change. Looks like the wizard's talent is necessary for speeding up the awakening of the sacred gravity physique. The boost given by physique is a surprise. But I know the real aptitude is wizard talent. I have to find a super relic as soon as possible. The benefits of superior talent are unimaginable. If I had the same talent like Lara, my physique awakening would have been faster. The next second I calmed down my heart. Greed is not good for me. I had spent a few weeks on this breakthrough. But I know Lara White must have a status similar to mine by this time. Thanks to the sacred gravity physique, the situation is still a level playing field between us. She didn't far surpass me at this point. After figuring it out, my lips bent slightly. Then once again I glanced at the status panel. The information has become a lot more compact. All of my spell models have upgraded to level 3 rank automatically. I believe it's due to the indirect help of the system. If it is an average wizard, then he has to spend a few weeks before upgrading the spell models. Fortunately, that burden is not for me. Then my gaze fell on available slots. My eyes gleamed with a twinkle. Normally an average wizard can construct 2 spell models at each level. But not all of the wizard streams have that many collections of wizard spells. Thankfully, the Academy has an inheritance of late gravity ancestors. I'm already quite addicted to using the Gravity Blast spell for all destruction and killing. From this alone, I can imagine the power of the late gravity ancestor. Let's see what are the level 3 spells models in the library later.